Hoy estoy muy feliz.
From the swamps of Louisiana, the Cajun Predator.
The day of the hairy freak or the fat slob is practically gone.
Let the party begin. I've got snacks.
There we go. Hello. Look at us. We did it again. Another 7 days round the sun. Welcome to WCW Deep Cuts live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. We gather, my lights in the shot, I don't like that, to watch the forgotten quote-unquote television classics from World Championship Wrestling in the 90s. Hello to everyone in the Erotic Eric Fontaine fan club, aka the chat. Mike Cicerone, glad to have you here tonight. No You Stick It, Bam Dog, Sonic's fan, Nathan with a Y, Assured Outcomes, Teo Cham, Jonathan Mayer with the bingo card, Wait Way. Let's see, I saw Brian Dermody, I saw Fire Pro Spooky is here, Mr. Wrestling 3, Judas Effect, I become, and get hard, stay hard, that's my motto. Al Creed, the Homosaur, glad to have you back. B. Clark for Dark, it's getting dark. Chandrox is here, Brenticus Maximus. Shout out to first time chatter, Marcus Phase the Fourth. That was Al Bundy. Let's see. Scrolling up, Al Creed. If I didn't say hi before, I'm saying hi now. So yeah, welcome everyone. In here in a second, what up, Willie Zoot? The Cheermaster, much like No Mercy is the Submaster, Willie Zoot is the Cheermaster. So here in a little bit, big news if you didn't watch Sundays Off the Grid about what we're doing this coming Sunday, special stream. But we gotta get into this show. We're gonna watch WCW Saturday Night from July 1999. There's a lot of show. We're gonna go to about 11:15 tonight. So let's go. I had something else to say. I completely forgot about it. Also, I did forget to mention, I have a virtual tip jar now. Because you folks that watched Off the Grid, kind enough to donate, and then after the fact, Monday morning, even more did, and they were like, hey, leave it up in case you would like to donate in the future. So if subs and all that jazz are too complicated for you and you'd like to throw your support with a couple bucks, again, it's never mandatory, never beg for it, but up there, Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal. All options. Look at that tan on Scott Hudson.
To Kevin Nash, who then turned the tables on Hollywood.
Good evening, Casual Villainy.
What an eventful 7-day period
Mike
it has been
Tenay's
for
here.
World Championship Wrestling, Scott. You think back to last
Fortunately,
Sunday,
no crackers
back
or
at the
still
beach, the
soda.
World Heavyweight title going from Kevin Nash to Randy
Still
Savage.
soda, flat soda.
You're right. Hogan back on Monday. He wins the World Heavyweight Championship belt. And then the challenge from Kevin Nash, accepted by Hogan for Road Wild in the match that we've all been waiting to see.
These
Hogan versus Nash with
two
that
shots in the
heavyweight
studio
title
are way different.
this Monday at
Now that you know
It's going to
that
be for all
these
the
were shot
marbles
Friday
before the
afternoon
fray.
after Scott
Control
Hudson got off of
WCW
work.
at stake, Ric Flair versus Sting.
That's going down Monday night in Rockford on Nitro. Much more stuff
Don't
to come.
go
Let's
back
go to the
to
ring for action on
Rockford.
TBS.
Wasted. Here we go, Billy Kid.
The former multi-time WCW World
Here's the Saturday
Cruiserweight
Night
Champion
set.
Kidman is going to kick things off here on WCW Saturday Night.
For all the
Scott
things they
Hudson
needed to change in
this past Monday on
1999,
Nitro,
of course they
Kidman
needed to
was
change the
involved in
Saturday
a
Night
very
set.
strange, very unique situation in a one-on-one matchup against Steven Regal. Kidman went to the top rope for his famous finishing move, the shooting star press.
Absolutely,
And I
B.
guess on
Clark
the
for
way
Dark.
down, Kidman
Not that
tried to
Tom Green on
top
Venmo. I'll
rope
drop
for
it in the
top
chat.
ropes with his feet. Eric Bischoff
I can't drop the link, but
very concerned,
there.
and Bischoff actually
Well, that's the
was
username on
referee
Venmo, not that
before
Tom
the
Green.
3 count as Kidman defeated a very upset
Hudson was working with the
Steve Regal,
FBI.
Mick Finley,
Yep.
and Dave Taylor all confront Bischoff at ringside.
We'll give Eric Bischoff credit. He stood toe-to-toe with 3 of the
Prince
toughest men
Iaukea.
inside
Who knows if he's a
WCW.
babyface or a heel
In
in this
Regal,
show?
Taylor, and
Who
Finley there on
knows?
Nitro, and right now Prince Iaukea and Kidman going to start us off on the Superstation, and Iaukea started off. Whoa!
Here, I think I figured out how to drop my
Prince
Venmo
Iaukea
in the
tried to
Twitch
submarine
chat.
Kidman now back in control.
Give me
Up
just a
top, big
second
right
while I do that.
Well, the
Billy
Prince
Kidman, not on
Iaukea,
heroin
the world
anymore.
TV champ,
About a
showing
year
little
off of
harder
the
edge, a little
heroin.
rougher attitude on the attack even before the opening
Um,
bell. When you think of
I
the
don't.
importance of this
Yeah, I think.
matchup, however, with Kidman,
I remember what you're
with
talking
Prince
about, Brian.
Iaukea, both former title holders,
I think it was a
and the fact that
hoax.
Rey Mysterio
I think somebody,
currently holds the
somebody put his name on there as a
Cruiserweight
rib ski.
Championship. One would think that the winner of this match is going to advance and go a long way towards a shot.
He
at
was
Mysterio
not
in the
related
Cruiserweight gold.
Talk about
to,
the resiliency of Kidman.
not related
He
to
took
Prince
that
Curtis
wicked bump
Iaukea.
Nitro,
Kevin
but
Sullivan
you're
gave
right,
him that
lip
name
pump
because
was
Kevin
the shooting star, and
Sullivan
that's very dangerous.
idolized Curtis
Enough
Iaukea.
presence of mind to roll up into the inside cradle for Eric to count the 1, 2, 3. But he came back Wednesday on Thunder and scored a victory over Mikey Whipwreck, and here he is on Saturday night.
Oh, Mikey
There is just no
Whipwreck.
pain, there is no quit. And the former cruiserweight
Oh, the
champion
BK
Kidman
bomb.
fills him up. Can he hang on?
Or the
Prince
broiler,
does it too.
as
Kidman
one
loves
might
that
say.
short power bomb. He connected with the Prince, gets a near fall. The two can.
Shout out.
Kidman
Shout
immediately
out B.
follows up
Clark.
his
Thank you
advantage.
so
He's
much.
on the offensive.
You're a kind soul.
Kidman sets
Thank
the
you.
Prince. Reversal
Appreciate
by
the
Iaukea.
virtual
Kidman in the rope.
tip.
Oh, Kidman held on and dropped the elbow into the back of Prince Iaukea.
The
Yeah,
Prince
King Curtis was the
move,
master of the
and
Dungeon of
Kidman
Doom.
was able to adapt,
I hope he was
drop
paid
the
well
elbow,
for
springs
being
off the ropes, mid-ring collision.
covered in
Front face gonna
cobwebs.
set him for a suplex. Kidman, no, blocked by the Prince. Look at that.
Oh,
Suplex
shit,
right over
Billy.
the top, all the way
Buddy.
to the floor.
He just muscled Kidman that time. Up and over
Oh, if
the
he
top,
injured himself
sending
on Saturday
flying
night.
to the arena floor and
Also,
crashing
somebody's
down.
just eating a
Recipient
meal.
of quite a suplex from Prince Iaukea.
Like,
Monday
I
night
see
in
like
Rockford,
fries and
Illinois.
pizza.
Cannot wait to be in Rockford for night.
I'm gonna go to WCW Saturday Night and get dinner.
For control of the company. You know, you've seen all the memos that Flair has put out. We got the press release.
All those memos
about
that Flair has put out. Oh,
being
God.
awarded the
That's right.
United
This is
States title, his
President Flair
undefeated streak.
era. Hello, Will Hall.
Wow.
Billy did
Well,
go
it may come to a
splat.
screeching halt Monday night on Nitro if the franchise Sting can put the Nature Boy's shoulders to the canvas for the 1, 2, 3.
Well, let's hope that that's the
Oh,
case
gosh,
for all of
Dave
our states,
Sharp.
really.
I'm sure if you go around
Several
most,
World Championship
like,
wrestling,
major
as
cities
well
and
as
meet,
the world are going to be
and, like,
watching
you'll
this
find
Monday
a middle-aged
when
woman or
Ric
two
Flair
that was
faces
somebody's, quote,
Sting.
ring
Control
girl.
of WCW at stake. It's an opportunity, I think, for sanity to prevail. once
God,
again.
imagine WCW
First
medieval
tied up
times.
1987 at the
Like, I know
inaugural
they
Clash
did
of
an
the
American
Champions
Gladiators
when
dinner
Sting
theater thing in Florida
elevated
for a while.
himself to the upper echelon, to the elite. Oh, hang on. The
Like, imagine
Prince
if
got
they
the two count
put up a ring in the
to the
Nitro
echelon
ring.
of professional
Like, that was an
wrestling with
idea
that
for WWF New
unbelievable
York.
matchup with Ric
Was
Flair. Had to go to
they
the
were gonna
judges
like
for a
have
decision.
live matches
Sting at
every
one time a member of the Four Horsemen.
and then they
Ric
realized
Flair kicked him out.
between the
These two
commission
men have a
and
history,
just the
and that
logistics of
history
having
will
wrestlers there every day, it would just be
Monday on
impossible.
Nitro.
You make a great point. That matchup at the Clash really puts Sting on the wrestling map as we see Kidman try and take the
Oh,
Prince
he's
over.
going surfing.
Iaukea hooks on the
Aloha
referee, Darsow.
Iaukea. I think I got
You
that
think
right,
now, over a
OSW
decade
crew.
later, it's another opportunity for
Really kind of just poking him in the eyes blatantly. Again, this is the
Oh,
Attitude Era. Referees
Got
don't
the
call
Duggan over the
things.
Prince. The front kick nailed him right in the gut. And Prince Iaukea, we are seeing him bend the rules. Oh, what break the rules
Yeah, thank you
here
for the knowledge,
on
Mr.
Saturday
Wrestling
night.
3. King Curtis was the cult leader during Sullivan's original
Can't get on
evil
track. It
occultist
started
run
off
in
with the
Florida
Prince
as well as the
control.
Taskmaster.
Kidman had a
So yeah,
flurry
that
of offense, but this
Prince
new
Iaukea was Kevin's
vicious
shout-out.
version of Prince Iaukea.
Who is a
Maintaining control here
mentor,
on TBS.
King Curtis.
Very blatant display by Prince Iaukea, breaking the rules right in front of the officials.
It's funny that
Johnny
Mike Quackenbush
Bone
talks about being
follows
recruited
up
for
with a
something wrestling-wise,
lethal
because
right hand to the side of the head of
something,
Kidman, who
something,
just went
Chikara
down
was
the
a
middle of the
cult,
ring,
something,
gets up
something.
again, and receives
The
another
kid.
big right from the Prince.
Boy, were we all stunned Monday in Jacksonville when Randy Savage in his
Also, shout out Billy Kidman for tucking his shirt into his jeans.
When we heard
Like, the tight wrestling and the tight jeans
Voodoo Child.
must have been hard
And
enough,
then Hollywood Hogan made his
but to
return and threw down
tuck
the
them
gauntlet
in
right there.
and then do like the cruiserweight high-flying style.
It was a very cocky, very confident Randy Savage that arrived at Monday Nitro.
Like dudes who wore street clothes in this era, like him and like IRS.
And I think the shot,
I don't know how you did it.
On the face of Randy Savage said it all. When Hollywood Hogan came out to accept that challenge, we saw Savage backtrack, but in the end, he was forced to put the title up, and Hogan, with a
Billy, do you give up?
From Kevin Nash and a jackknife powerbomb,
I've been
Hollywood Hogan walked away
slightly
from
muzzled.
With that world's heavyweight title belt.
That's just cheating.
I hope Randy
Oh yeah, I would imagine. Mike Rotundo was dripping with sweat at the end of all of his matches, and he did nothing. Like, I'm not an athlete. Rarely do I go, oh, this wrestler did nothing. IRS did nothing in his matches. And he would always just, it'd be like a wet t-shirt contest.
Hang on, Kidman out of the corner with a bulldog. Nail the Prince quickly over. How quickly? Hook the leg, no. Prince out at 2, and Kidman thought he had it.
See a little frustration there, evident on the face of Kidman, but it was nice follow-up going for the.
Yeah, that's the thing is Mike Rotunda probably had to buy like a pack of dress shirts every week. He was ruining them. We are, I want to say 6 months away from the artist. Got there, Will Hall. And this is a year before the Viagra on a pole match. That was during the second Russo. Yeah, the infamous Viagra on a pole match between Shane Douglas and Billy Kidman. Shooting star press. Oh, he almost clipped his legs. The shooting, like Billy Kidman's shooting star press is kind of like when I try to throw a football. Like I'll try to do a spiral, but I'm not a good athlete, and it just kind of goes off to the side. In terms of, I'd say his ability matching up with his push, I'd say 99's the peak. Because he kind of got pushed as a heavyweight, but he was in there with guys who could have good matches. This was the era when they did the filthy, they weren't the filthy animals yet. Like Kidman and Ray versus the Horsemen versus Raven and Saturn, that really cool three-way feud. And like then they put the filthy animals together. He had some, like in that weird period between Bischoff leaving and Russo coming in, he had a bunch of really good matches on Nitro.
Set him up to the top. The shooting star press, this time executed to absolute perfection, and he gains the 3 count in the win over the Prince.
And still to come here on the Superstation TBS, we will see the franchise
gonna grind on you while Sting cuts a promo.
Flair still to come.
We issued Bam Bam Bigelow a challenge to see if his new t-shirt could measure up to his reputation.
Hey, Scott, we got new shirts for you. We need to advertise them, show how tough they are. Here's some wooden pallets. And a sledgehammer.
Bam Bam Bigelow Beast from the East t-shirt for $20.
God, what's up with the dragon on the back? Like, I'm sure it's like one of his tattoos.
This portion of WCW Saturday Night brought to you by
one of these weeks we watch these Saturday nights. I really need to get glow sticks. So there was a storyline. Judas Effect asked why I mentioned Raven and his affluent family. There was a storyline at the end of like '98 where Raven like got depressed and he went home. And they shot vignettes at what was supposed to be his house. And it was like this mansion. And we were supposed to find out that Scott Levy was a spoiled rich kid from Florida. And like they had brought in an actress to play his mom. And Sandman debuted as his neighbor. He was also like the rich guy next door. And Chastity was his bratty little sister. And yeah, that's where the What a Mark gift. I really wish it would have continued. Like, if him and Piper would have gotten to do their thing, that would have been fun. Yeah, Mikey Whipwreck was supposed to. There was a rumor that he was either supposed to be the other neighbor, or he was supposed to be Raven's therapist, like a Doogie Howser type of thing. Like he was supposed to be like fresh out of like high school or something.
will be Mr. World.
Here we go. Mr. World Class Chipman, legit Olympian. One of my favorite I found it a year or two ago. Promos on a C show ever. He got promo time with Lee Marshall. And he got a promo on the other people on the bobsled team.
I don't think he would appreciate that.
Claiming that if it would have just been him doing bobsled by himself, he would have won gold. The canyon shopping sequence Brian brought up, beautiful. Like straight out of an 80s comedy. It's amazing. Yeah, Chipman, legit Olympian, against my boy B.A. Anybody who says Brad Armstrong doesn't have charisma has not paid attention. Like seriously. Also, I recently found out that after Master P bailed, that because if you notice, like Ray and Conan aren't with them, that they had gone to Bischoff and whoever was in the booking team and were like, let's put Brad Armstrong in our group. They were like, yeah, fuck these green guys. Let them be awful. We want Brad Armstrong as a filthy animal. So imagine Brad Armstrong, not just No Limit Soldier, but filthy animal. I could kind of see that, Brian. Looks a bit like a Mr. Kennedy.
I mean, that had impact. And he pinned Dave Taylor. And you just don't walk up off the street and hit Dave Taylor. Swallow and show me something in there.
Yeah, essentially, Disco Spot in the Filthy Animals, the guys in the group wanted it to be Brad Armstrong.
Gonna take it to the outside. That may not be a safe place.
Like, look at this. And the thing is, as dweeby as it is, it kind of comes off as natural.
A match that professional wrestling fans in Mexico and the United States have been waiting to see.
Yeah, huge change from Brad Armstrong.
Between Conan and Vampiro.
I'm with you, Bam Dog. Yeah, no more Disco. Hopefully he's not on here. I didn't look at the match list.
As far as heavyweights go in professional wrestling in Mexico.
See, that's the thing, is like,
there really was never an organization big enough to contain.
I think Brad is cooler than Brian. It's just Brian got to show up his personality first.
They had a confrontation this past Monday on Nitro.
And Brian got to say cuss words in South Park shows.
Over the edge. And I tell you, I would love to see those two hook it up one more time.
And you know who would like it better than you?
Who's that?
Like, the problem with Brad Armstrong, the problem he had was he had a Southern accent in a company that was trying to not be Southern. Like, that accent might as well have been... He might as well have slept with Eric Bischoff's wife. Wrong choice of words. Apparently he liked... Up with his mom? I don't know. Brad is in wrestling Chipman, who's, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, a legit Olympic bobsledder. Will Hall asked, do you think BA could have ever been a top guy? I don't know about a top guy in this era, but he could have been like... He could have been in like that mix with the cruiserweights that didn't want to be cruiserweights. You know, like Eddie, Jericho, Malenko, Benoit. He could have been in with them. And honestly, he was a better promo than Benoit. He was a better promo than Malenko. He was a better promo than Eddie at this time. Eddie, yeah. I mean, Eddie was a good promo. But like, there's a couple of heel Brad Armstrong promos from like 6-8 months before this that are like revelations.
And then all of a sudden, at the finish of the match, Kevin Nash does the 180 and throws down.
Like, the problem with Brad Armstrong's WWE CW run was, again, Southern accent. Though it's funny that they tried him out as a commentator. Brad Armstrong was a heel into 97, early 98. Like, he was the first guy to, like, Mongo, I love the Mongo Goldberg matches, but like the first technically good Goldberg matches in like the classic sense were Brad Armstrong. He had one on Nitro that was really good, and then they rematched him on Super Brawl.
Then at the Georgia Dome on the following Nitro, just laid down and a one-finger pin for Hollywood Hogan, letting Hogan become the world champion.
Just elbowed the dude right in between the shoulder blades because he won't feud for you.
Gets a 2 count on Chip Minton.
Totally different.
Yeah, I'm with you, Mr. Wrestling. He had like the 80s territory top guy charisma. This era, like, he could have been like U.S. champion. No. Better than what he got. Well, I believe it was Steve under the Dixie Dynamite mask and Smokey Mo. There we go, Russian leg sweep. That's the thing. If I were him, I would have gotten a different finish. As good as his Russian leg sweep was, I think it was a little too associated with plain tights, plain boots, Brad Armstrong.
VA wins it on Saturday night. Celebration time for the soldiers here on TBS.
Like, Chase Tatum looks way dweebier than Brad Armstrong. I'm sorry.
This more impressive win here on WCW Saturday Night.
Look at that group. What an impressive lot.
Yeah, Teddy Reed's not even with them anymore.
Yeah, no limit soldier standing tall.
Was it Scott? Maybe it was Scott. I know it definitely wasn't Brad.
And still to come here on the Superstation, we go back to Bash at the Beach.
We go back to maybe the biggest disaster we heard on pay-per-view. People got hurt. Nobody could see anything. It cost us way too much money.
Is that Gene Okerlund? No, it's Barry Darsow. Boy, I thought Okerlund really had started working out. Well,
there we go, Barry Darsow, just weeks away from getting amnesia.
From the state of Minnesota, but that's about as far as it gets. No relation between Gene Okerlund, our broadcast colleague, who will be along later tonight here on WCW Saturday Night, and Barry Darsow, the master of the barely legal submission hold.
That's right, his finisher was named after Bourne. Like, of course, it was ECW. That's where they got the barely legal from. But if you're just flipping through the channels and you hear, and you see this guy walk out, this guy's the master of the barely legal. That's a little weird. Also weird is Barry Darsow's wrestling Silver King. Yeah, no ladies bathing backstrap for Barry. Good catch, Jonathan.
No. It would mean more than that because we'd be talking about a totally new direction for the WCW organization.
Silver King got a good shirt for a chesty man. Showing it off.
He's been in charge. If you think of the
that's right. Silver King never did get that upgrade to gold. That's right, Iaukea. I wish we could go back to that, Christian.
So many people through the years have devoted their careers to attaining that kind of level, and just to have it handed to him on a silver platter by his
I think
father.
that would have. I think maybe that's where the amnesia gimmick was going, where he would have been a mishmash of all the gimmicks.
And I can tell you that there are a lot of people.
But then he got fired.
In support of Sting.
Like, just in the middle of it, they fired him because I don't think they were aware that he was doing it.
Voice of reason. Bring back sanity to WCW.
Preach on, brother. Oh, look at that missile drop kick from the
Also, I'm a big fan of WCW's main story throughout, like, every booking regime in '99. Every one of them was like, oh, we're going back to the old times, the golden days. This place sucks. But we're gonna bring it back.
Give it the first 2 rounds. But David Flair to take it off of Scotty and give it to David Flair. Please, what a slap in the face to the tradition of the U.S. strap.
Well, I can see that they would take the United States heavyweight title away from Scott Steiner.
Yes.
You have that 30-day window in which you must defend the championship belt.
So I just looked down. I don't want to read out shoot names. I'm brother Brent. You just tipped me $5. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. If that was not you, Brenticus, I apologize for bringing attention to you, but I saw the name Brent. I'm not going to dox anybody. But thank you so much for the tip. This was after Hole-in-One Barry Darsow. He dropped all the gimmicks. But about a month after this, there would be a match. Him and Bobby Eaton against Harlem Heat for the tag titles on Saturday night, of course, where he gets hit with one of the tag title belts and gets amnesia from it, because that's how you get amnesia. What is he doing?
And it hurts to see
I think this is just a
Darsow
hand fetish video.
apply this arm
What? He's just
break with
holding his arm.
armbar on Silver King while he has his
What's
elbow and
happening?
arm wrapped around that steel post.
Obviously, Darsow.
Maybe there are more Brents. I
Silver
don't know,
King
Brenticus.
for the application of the barely legal.
I don't know everyone's shoot name, brother. I don't have Dave Meltzer put everyone's names in parentheses
Oh, and Darsow, look at that, just up
like
in
he
the
used to
training in the
before
right hands on
Facebook.
Silver King. And
He
Silver
does
King,
hand stuff with the
he's
barely
probably
legal.
still
There you go.
seeing
Good catch,
scars
Judas
from what
Effect.
went down last Sunday night in that Junkyard Invitation.
You know, Scott, I've been involved in some awfully wild, outrageous matches.
I've said it before, Barry Darsow is the ultimate uncle wrestler.
Since I've been a part of the World
Meaning,
Championship
like,
Wrestling
when you're a kid
organization, absolutely
and you're
nothing
like with the
that
family
match
for
this
Christmas,
past
the
Sunday
extended
from
family,
the
and you got the one
Junkyard,
uncles
and it
that's like,
was
oh, you like wrestling? Oh,
winning
let's,
that wild
and then I'll like
contest.
down on the floor and like throw you in the couch. That's Barry
Even
Darsow.
suffered a broken shoulder in that match.
I'm surprised that's the only serious injury out of that thing. Are you kidding me? They were all over the place. I'm saying later on we may hear from Fit Finley
barely
here
legal
on
hand
Saturday
stuff.
night.
Reminds me of the
It is
summer of
barely
'96.
legal. Silver King.
Oh, that's the barely legal, which by the way is like probably pretty hard to get on somebody for real, but that frickin' hurts your wrist.
Gets the Duke on Silver King.
Very little offense from Silver King in this matchup.
Nick Patrick can't even raise somebody's hand correctly. He like lost it.
Barry Darsow capitalizes and scores the submission win.
You know what? That's a great anecdote, Judas Effect. Judas Effect says, I met Barry Darsow a few years ago and he taught me a valuable lesson. Don't say you think, say you know.
Kevin Nash goes for the gold again.
That's I feel like that's a very Barry Darsow anecdote. He seems like the type of guy that would have little bits of wisdom.
From WCW.
Road Wild, the last one.
Now that's more like it.
Oh, the WCW credit cards. That's Steve-O?
No object. I've got the power of the card.
Get the power of the all-new official WCW MasterCard. 10
Thank you,
original
Big Lord.
designs, all
Need to get that on
the
the
new
shirt.
WCW logo, plus Nature Boy Ric Flair, Conan, and the new WCW card.
Of course, you know the one I carry.
Need to
Call now to order at
get me a
1-800-WCW
Nitro Girls card.
This one's pretty cool, too.
The card to go to the bat for.
All right, we're back here.
The only professor I recognize is Mike Tenay.
WCW Saturday Night.
Thank you.
Nitro's coming up, a red-hot program seen Monday nights on TNT at 8 o'clock Eastern. This Monday, we're going
Although
to be
Gene's
rolling
having to
into
explain
Rockford,
what
Illinois,
Nitro is
at the Metro
on Saturday
Center.
night.
Tickets are still available there at the box office and at all of the usual ticket outlets.
Oh, I'm sure the
On
interest
Monday,
rates are
July the
ridiculous.
26th in the Southland. In
And
Memphis,
everybody got
Tennessee,
approved for one.
At the Mid-South Coliseum, tickets at the box office and at all ticket
God, if there was a
locations.
gambler one.
Now then, on Monday, August
Real
2nd
perverts.
at the arena in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Tickets available at the box
Sioux
office
Falls.
and at all Ticketmaster outlets. Get ready as we head west on Monday, August the 9th in Boise.
that the Bam
at
Bam
Idaho
Bigelow
Center.
shirt there behind?
Tickets on sale at the box office.
Let's
and at
go,
all
Nobly.
selected seat outlets.
Interest rates were
And Thunder's going to be upcoming.
1-900-909-9900
Here's a couple of great dates for you. This
9900%.
Thursday, we're going to be in Moline, Illinois at the Mark of the Quad in the Quad Cities. Tickets are available at the box office.
Should
and
have
at
been
all
like,
Ticketmaster
come be a
outlets.
mark
Back to my
at
old
the
stomping
quad.
grounds.
At the mark
On
of the
Thursday,
quad.
August the 5th, we're going to be in La Crosse, Wisconsin at the La Crosse Center right there on the beautiful Mississippi River. Tickets on sale at the box office and at all La Crosse Center ticket outlets. Stay
Also,
tuned
the lighting
for
makes that
Saturday
locker
night,
room look
coming
like
up
such a
right after this.
skeevy place to be.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Randy Savage, who has not looked like this in 2 years at this point.
Never do a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah.
He's 3 times that size. Oh yeah, I'm sure that La Crosse, Wisconsin building is like an armory or something.
New CompuServe
Thirsty for
2000.
Naya.
Now just $9.95.
Fast connections.
Just $9.95.
Easier email.
R.I.P. Naya.
$9.95.
CompuServe 2000, the value leader in internet access.
Call today.
CompuServe, hang on by a thread.
On my own dime, it's crazy to stay anywhere but Motel 6.
Wait, is this actor dead?
And invest it in something.
He was on Orange is the New Black. He was the prison guard.
Did not send the money Western
Like the
Union
shitty,
and the
evil, gay
heartbreak
prison
card.
guard, I
I just
think.
spent hours with the tow
Pretty
truck
sure
box.
he's
Later
dead.
tonight.
Western Union.
Yep,
the
he's dead.
fastest way
Thank
to
you,
send
Big
money
Dog.
worldwide.
You quit smoking.
He didn't.
I'm surprised that's a game we're not able to play more often. Is this actor in this commercial dead?
If you smoke, use Targon.
I saw there's a documentary on YouTube. I haven't finished yet, but it's called The
Welcome back
Kid
to
Who
Superstation
Smokes
TBS
30 Cigarettes a Day.
WCW Saturday night.
It's about surprisingly, a 13-year-old boy from England who smokes 30 cigarettes a day. He started when he was 8. Oh boy! Finally a raver at the rave. Eric Watts, his name gets misspelled. His daddy isn't the booker anymore. This is Moves era Eric Watts. This is Eric Watts taking all of the anger and the frustration of the 92 run and being like, no, I'm actually a cool guy.
Training for his debut here in WCW, and going to be quite a test against Parka later tonight, but that's not all.
And he actually debuted this look before the Hardy Boys, which probably made him really bitter. I prefer this Eric Watts to TNA Eric Watts because this Eric Watts never cut promos. Oh, mention him and he shall arrive. It's the Gambler.
That's going to be quite a test as Eddie Guerrero and Blitzkrieg go one-on-one.
Friend of all.
Unfortunately, put in that ridiculous lineup at the Georgia Dome on Nitro.
Gambler's running the poker game off in the dark corner at the rave. I think this might be the Gambler's last WCW match. Love it, no use to say his name.
Later tonight, right here on the Superstation. But how about the main event that we have in store for everyone? Big Booker T, who felt the wrath of the Triad this past Monday.
Like, how was he not NWO Arn Anderson?
When his brother, Big Stevie Ray,
like,
came to
from
the
Hard
rescue,
Cam.
so he had that hidden
Like,
camera
oh,
back
Arn
in the
Anderson's
NWO black and white locker room, and the NWO black and white members.
What a WCW-ass match.
With Stevie Ray.
Eric Watts and the Gambler in 1999.
Stevie Ray left the locker room area, actually came to the rescue of his brother. I'm not sure if that was a one-night reunion or not.
What the fuck was that?
He finally had some backup.
And they're not talking.
Again, this boom, 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 boom.
Not
allowed to do that anymore, brother. Gun control.
You're not kidding. He calls me the
Gambler, I think he's a mechanic now. He was on Talk is Jericho last
You're
year.
aligning yourself now with Stevie Ray.
Also, yeah, fuck those people in Cage Match. They only gave a Gambler a 4.89. Like,
we can't get anything from Stevie Ray or Booker T.
Some of the shitheads that have like 8 or 9 ratings on there, and the Gambler doesn't even have a 5.
We know there's trouble among NWO Wolfpack mates with Hollywood Hogan and Kevin Nash set to vie for the World's Heavyweight Championship upcoming at Road Wild. We had been talking about the NWO Black and White being among.
I'm gonna blame the Gambler's Cage Match rating on tribalism.
What went down this past Monday? I'm not certain that that's still the case.
I would love to ask the leader of the Black and
Also,
White,
how?
Stevie Ray, about that, but
It's not just Eric Watts, but how is wearing a belt in the ring not illegal? If you're supposed to check for weapons. Hey, Bowser Extension. Eric Watts kind of did have an ECW run. It wasn't very long. It was like 3 weeks, I think. But at the end of '99, he did a couple weeks with ECW. And he brought one of the old Mid-South belts with him. And was like, yeah, my daddy gave me this. He was like really playing into it. I think he was with Steve Corino's group.
WCW Saturday Night, and the Gambler is a real veteran of the mat wars as well.
What the fuck was that? Hey kid, what's your move? Oh, you pick me up and then drop me on your face.
Is one of the edges that Eric Watts has in this match, and he's going to need to flaunt that strength advantage if he's going to be successful against the Gambler.
Eric Watts was the Kiss Dreamin' would have been funny. Because he's really tall, but he's like not jacked, and I think they wanted like a big jacked guy.
Sort of a unique two-color design, isn't it?
The Gambler back in control.
Hey, OG Man 3 Iffy. Welcome to the chat. First time chat. The Erotic Eric Fontaine fan club. I only use Cage Match for results. I don't know why anybody else would use Cage Match for anything but results.
Of his boots to rake across the eyes of Eric Watts, and Eric Watts has had a difficult time getting him tracked in this matchup.
Now the Gambler. That's a veteran maneuver. Raking.
Yeah, it's wild, Eric Watts. Like, Eric Watts is clearly a good athlete. I mean, he was quarterback at University of Louisville. You don't get that spot. Even if you weren't a starter. And I think he was a starter if you're not a good athlete. And yeah, he grew up around wrestling.
And I've talked to so many of the second generation.
The original Kiss Demon was supposed to be Brian Adams, and he showed up for one show. The debut as the Kiss Demon. And then in front of Kiss, he's like, yeah, I really don't like your guys' music. They're like, okay, you're out. Nick Patrick is a 7.34 on Cage Match. Also, why are they rating referees?
Just dove jaw first into the size 14 of Eric Watts.
Man, Buddy Landell and the Gambler really should have been the NWO Horseman. And like Buddy, like I did that short, he was real. He got a start date, and then he Buddy Landelled it.
Sets him up. Oh no! Oh! The power bomb in the corner. Version of the old Snake Eyes and the Gambler paying the price.
What was that?
He just grabbed him in a variation of a cross.
Hey, I want to do Canyon's move, but can you plant with your elbow to just make it real dangerous for both of us? I'll have to look into that Eric Watts Kiss Demon stuff. I'm not done. I'm just never heard. I'm sure it's true. Speaking of, I'm warning you guys now. If you're watching this on Wednesday morning, it'll just have gone off. But for you guys live, tomorrow's WCW Deep Cut short is the weirdest one. Like, I'm not gonna be able to.
Closed captioning of Saturday Night, sponsored by Armor All.
Like, I finally found a source to a really weird rumor I'd heard for years. And I did like a legit like emergency edit session. Like, I have to get this out to you guys.
In Fort Lauderdale, Florida, last Sunday night, it was the Junkyard Invitational hardcore match on pay-per-view. The president.
Yeah, we don't get to actually see the Junkyard Brawl. We get to see pictures of it. I hope the views are bonkers. That'd be great. I guarantee that it's going to cause idiots who don't know about actual fighting. This is as much of a spoiler as I'll give. Idiots that don't know about actual fighting and how tough certain wrestlers are. In the comments, like, oh, this could have never happened. That's as far as I'm going. Hey, Ruffs' Wizards. 1999 ECW is weird. Ruffs' Wizards probably noticed on Twitter. I've been watching through, kind of binging some of that era of ECW. I'm up to August right now. It's all had like 10 guys on the roster, it felt like. But hey, how's 1999 WCW treating us? It's treating us pretty good. That's right, yeah, Hack was supposed to win the Junkyard match and then he showed up with shit-faced. Which it's like, he hired Jim Fullington. Is that DDP? God, this is the coolest jacket. Like, how do you have a guy in the locker room with that jacket and not be like, we need to push him? Yes, this is the very, Hank, this is the very end of the Eric Bischoff run. Get sent home about 6 weeks after this.
Or be still. And Monday on Nitro, Jimmy Hart and the First Family stole it.
Like, where do you even get a jacket?
So I'm guessing the First Family still has physical possession of the hardcore trophy.
You know, I was thinking back to that matchup in the Junkyard, and
I don't think Wrath had that jacket.
Fit Finley, Steven Regal, and David Taylor really worked to perfection in Monday on Nitro in an interview.
What is this music?
Finley credited both Regal and Taylor with assisting.
Oh, that's Art Flores. That was the LWO bodyguard.
I understand that our broadcast colleague Gene Okerlund has tracked down Fit Finley.
They had him under a contract after the LWO, and they're like,
Parka, and this man,
what are we supposed to do?
Spider, Mean Gene will talk with Fit Finley.
$9.99 when Eric Bischoff was sent home, and
oh boy, Gene, get ready.
The MTV Video Music Awards with all those damn M&Ms.
Warm to discussing what went down on Nitro when he lost the trophy.
There's a look at this. Dripping with charisma.
On Thunder last Wednesday night.
I think the Parka was way over in a lot of households.
I bet Finley's not in a
but you know, WCW's casual racism kind of did him in.
Bodyguard for Uncle Eddie Guerrero, and now look at the knife.
That would have been great. Finley and Parka as the jacket guys.
Leapfrog from the largest luchador. Big shoulder block. Took him
They
down,
did have
and a
Spider
low
under
Parka
contract.
strut on TBS.
Because if you like just hung around long enough in WCW, you got a contract.
In mid-ring. Ooh, caught him with a knee to the midsection that time. Nice power exhibited by Spider. Scoop and a slam on Parka.
Like, I think the story with Spider, if I'm not mistaken, he was like Eddie Guerrero's neighbor.
And Spider, I gotta wonder, is there still an alliance?
And like Eddie kind of helped get him trained.
Eddie Guerrero's here. Eddie Guerrero will face Blitzkrieg later in
Like
this
Tricolore, I believe is how you pronounce that. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you bringing the crackers to the stale soda. Bit late of a response there from my Twitch dingy. I do not know if Spider has a cage match.
Caught that boot right in the face as he
But if he's rated higher than the Gambler, I'll be pissed.
Spider ran into a
He
running
confirms he
lariat.
does not.
Almost took his head off. Quickly over. Lateral press. And Parka only got the 2 count. Spider barely kicked out. Full scoop and a slam from Parka. Oh, that had
Boot and a
authority.
slam.
Parka does not like
Can't do that anymore.
being the first man to face Spider here on Saturday night. He didn't have a shot to warm up, to watch any videotapes, unless he got some of those from south of the border. Parka from up top.
Oh,
whoa.
it's
Double sledge.
flying
Level Spider.
nothing. First time I've ever seen anybody hit one of those. Yeah, I'm not surprised there's 8 guys named Spider with a Y on a cage. I think it was everybody's name. 1999 Spider or like
There's a lot of payback in store from many of the masked wrestlers here in WCW. As we see out of the corner, Spider connects with the DDT.
He nailed it. This may do it. Lateral press. Hooks the leg. Spider only got the 2 count. Parka kicked out of the DDT. Boy, there is so much fight in Parka. We talk about the high-flying luchadors. I don't think
Spider, if he's trained, it's like the very basics. And they're like, oh, you can go out there and wrestle for 6 minutes on TV. Yeah, Spider's name is that his name is Spider. I think his name is Spider's because he got like a spider tattoo. I think was the news story. I don't see one, so maybe not.
But because of his overall size and weight,
oh, I know wrestlers who watch matches of their opponents if they know they're going to be booked against somebody ahead of time, so they can be like, okay, you do that, I can do this out of that. I don't think Spider wrestled anywhere after WCW or before.
From the top turnbuckle, he had to be 10 feet.
Yeah, that Glacier debut was weird. 96, where they just debuted him on Pro after like 5 months of vignettes.
I guess it's Spider up, tosses Parka back in, nicely.
I don't know if Spider went to the PowerPoint. I have a PowerPoint roster from this time from one of the racial discrimination lawsuits that Chris Harrington sent me. Oh my gosh! That's not how you do that. Oh no, poor Spider. If he did go to the power plant, he didn't learn how to crotch himself on the ropes.
That may do it. Lateral press, and he got it.
Parka wins. Everybody's shooting guns on here. That's right, Parka. Talk your shit.
Thank you, gentlemen. Here on TBS, I want to chronicle what happened this past week. Sunday night in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in a junkyard, David Finley, the great Irish wrestler, captured.
I love how he's describing him like he's doing an NPR report and he's never seen wrestling before. Spider has wrestled. Is that this Spider, DK Bomber? Because again, we've established there's a lot of Spiders. Like Spider Nate Webb just wrestled Saturday.
You are not a happy individual.
No, I'm not happy. You've seen that match. You've seen the work I done to get out. I was the only one to survive that whole match. And these idiots.
That should have been his nickname.
With Jimmy Hart.
The great Irish wrestler, David Finley.
They came and stole it. They took a liberty and took it. They are not the champions. They are not tough guys. They are nothing. And you listen to me, First Family and Jimmy Hart. I will come wherever I have to go to get it back. I will come
Finley's coming wherever.
An airline seat. I will come to your house. I will drag you off your boat.
Finley's gonna come at your house.
I'm gonna get it. It's not the trophy. It's the fact that they took it and they're claiming that they have the crown of the hardcore.
The trophies
This is
changed
the crown of
sizes
hardcore.
like
Let me ask
4
you
or
a
5
question.
times.
You've always had a reputation of being a spectacular, a fabulous technician. Why would you
Fabulous
ever get in this
technician.
hardcore division anyway?
Gene, I'm a professional wrestler. I've been for a long, long time. 3rd generation. If you're going to put wrestling in front of me,
A 3rd
no matter
generation
what
wrestler.
style or
And
who it is, I'm
if you
gonna
give me
do
your
it.
hand, I'll show you how to
And
break
that's
it
as
in
simple
5
as
different
that.
places.
It's my job. I'm a professional. A monkey climbs a
Interesting.
tree, and you can't stop the monkey. And I'm going to be the monkey jumping all over the first family.
He's going to be the monkey
You're going to be
jumping
the
all over.
organ
That sounds a
grinder in this
little
one.
problematic.
I thank you very much. He is David Fit Finley. He had his hardcore trophy stolen. Now he wants it back. Stay tuned for Saturday night when we come back. Don't go away.
Don't touch that.
Yeah, I just looked up Spider's Pro Fight DB, and yeah, the only matches I see on here are from '99.
Back on the Superstation, you know, Mike, heading into
There's a
Bash
different
at the
Spider
Beach,
who
so
wrestled
many
for
unanswered
Evolve.
questions. Could Kevin Nash trust Sting?
A lot of spiders.
What would Randy Savage and Sid Vicious have in store for the world champion? Well, we found
Finley
out
is fun
last
to play
Sunday
with
night
in
at Bash at the Beach.
the Finley
The
rule.
most
Hey,
prestigious
Drugs.
championship built in our sport has
Welcome.
been a
Hey,
hot
Byrd. Hey,
potato
Byrd
as
Von
of late.
Rashi.
You
I don't
talked
know
about
anything
last
about
Sunday's
monkeys on
pay-per-view,
Ireland.
and yes, it was in Florida.
Yeah,
At
everybody
Bash at
got
the Beach,
freaking hurt
where
in that
Randy
junkyard
Savage
match.
in a
And there were
tag
no
team
lights,
match
so
won
you
the
couldn't
World
see
Heavyweight
any of it.
Championship belt. 24 hours later on Nitro. It was the return of Hollywood Hogan to WCW and the NWO, and Hogan did not disappoint. He knocked off Savage. He now claims the world's heavyweight title. There was a big assist to Kevin Nash and his jackknife powerbomb Monday. There is a match between Nash and Hogan. It's set for Road Wild on
Doing
pay-per-view
this
next
with your
month.
hands on the
This all
table,
started
like a
last
little
Sunday
weirdo.
night in Fort
Put your palms
Lauderdale
on.
at Bash at the Beach. Savage and
Sweaty?
Sid take on Nash and Sting. The world strap was at stake.
The world
This
strap.
past Sunday at Bash at the
Sounds
Beach, the world
perverted.
heavyweight champion Kevin Nash put the title up for grabs in a tag match. It was Nash and Sting against the team of Randy
That's
Savage.
this bullshit.
and
That's
psychotic
right. I
Sid
forgot
Vicious.
all about
Would
this.
Kevin Nash
They put the
and
tag
Sting
titles,
function
or
as
the
a
world
team?
title on the
That
line in
was
a
the
tag
great
match,
unanswered question. We got
where
our
Sting
answer.
could also
Sting
pin his own
loves a good
partner.
fight as a good tag team partner for the world
So it was a
champion.
They were a
four-way,
cohesive
but
unit.
they
Yes, Sting
said it was a
could be
tag
trusted,
match.
but how about Gorgeous George? She was in the corner of Nash and Sting, but she could not be trusted.
Will
He
Hall
certainly
with the
could
gambler
not, and
emoji
Sting
or the
went
emote.
up and took
I do.
the
I
choke slam from Big
downloaded
Sid Vicious.
the
Randy Savage, the top rope elbow.
image
Randy
files I
Savage
need. I
wins
just need to
the
put
World Heavyweight
them in
Championship.
to make new emotes. I'm gonna try to do
Then
that
it was
this week.
24 hours later on WCW's Monday Nitro. The new World's Heavyweight issued a challenge, and who would accept
The new
none other than
World's
the returning
Heavyweight.
Hollywood Hogan.
Savage threw down the gauntlet to anybody but Kevin Nash. Well, anybody but Kevin Nash answered. Savage and Hogan for the
Anyone
world
but
strap on
Kevin
Nitro.
Nash.
It was one-on-one. A classic battle between two of the biggest names ever in the history of our sport. There was a collision between Medusa and Miss Madness, but Randy Savage used the belt before Sid Vicious arrived on the scene.
But the big equalizer also hit the ring, and Sting and Kevin Nash came to the aid of Hollywood Hogan. And one more time,
Hey,
Hollywood
LJH.
wears the
We're just
gold,
watching
but Kevin
pictures
Nash
from a
has
Nitro.
challenged for Hollywood Hogan.
Scintillating
And that
television.
leads us to Road Wild, August 14th on pay-per-view from Sturgis. It's Hogan and Nash for the world.
There we go.
Heavyweight Championship.
What
Blitzkrieg.
a verbal exchange we
Music
saw
Cousins
between
with Greg
Kevin Nash
Valentine,
and Hollywood
Marty
Hogan
Jannetty,
at the
Steve
conclusion
Austin,
of the world's title matchup this
Brian
past Monday
Pillman.
on Nitro. Kevin Nash in with the powerbomb, issued the challenge. Hogan is accepted. It's set for
We need a
Road
lot more
Wild.
Blitzkrieg
into the ring,
signs.
Eddie Guerrero
Kinda
when
clever.
we come back.
I think the coolest thing about Randy Savage with Team Madness was when it was confirmed by Gorgeous George on that A&E biography that he would show up to TV every week and take ecstasy and then cut his weird promos.
Come on, man, let's go.
Medusa and Del Torborg just kidnapped that businessman.
Saturday, August 14th, live and only on pay-per-view. Cornwood King or satellite company to order now.
Welcome
There we go.
back to
Eddie
WCW
Guerrero and
Saturday
Blitzkrieg.
Night. Blitzkrieg is
This should
in
be
the
one of
ring,
those
and
matches
here
that's like
comes
really
his
good that I
opponent,
don't have
the
anything to
one
say about because
former
I
and
can't like
future leader
riff on it.
of the Latino World Order.
Damn them.
A man
Yeah, George had a
who
few
cannot pick up
accusations
the
about
tab
Randy.
tonight. Don't ask him. Somebody stole his wallet. Uncle Eddie Guerrero.
It's
He's still
sad.
buying that. The missing wallet, the missing several $100 at the Georgia Dome backstage in
Look
Atlanta.
at that ponytail
A week
on
ago
Eddie.
this past
Oh my
Monday on
gosh.
Nitro. And I can tell you that
All
it's
right,
payback
we got
time.
Stephen J.
This was the
Neptune
mindset
Man's
of Blitzkrieg
history
because he
capsule.
was
This week
one
in
of
sports
the
history,
several masked
July 17,
wrestlers, not all
1999.
luchadors, by
The
the
New York
way,
Yankees beat the Atlanta
one of
Braves
the several
11-4.
wrestlers
The
that
Mets
WCW
lost to the Devil Race
security
3-2. And the number one song in America was Bills, Bills, Bills by Destiny's
Had a
Child.
big lineup backstage in the locker room area, and they were also forced to unmask, show their faces to Eddie Guerrero. And as far as I'm
That
concerned,
thing
it was
is
just an
a
opportunity
beauty.
for Guerrero to ridicule the masked competitors here in World Championship Wrestling.
Well, it's been almost 2 weeks, but I
Yeah, bangs and
Blitzkrieg
a pony. That's a horsetail. That's not a ponytail. That thing
what
is
Eddie
massive.
Guerrero did to him on Nitro from Atlanta. And I don't think
And that
Blitzkrieg
takes time and patience to grow. That's not something you just have overnight.
The masks are to so many of the wrestlers currently active in WCW, primarily the luchadors
This is
south of the border. Blitzkrieg is a little different.
Blitzkrieg after he got his first few checks and bought some better ring gear.
So much time studying and wrestling in Mexico that he employs a style that's very similar to the lucha libre style of professional wrestling.
And he's getting under the skin of Eddie Guerrero. Oh, hang on.
What if Eddie did that spot with Mickey J? That would have been great.
Trying to show that he pulled the hair. Come on. Mickey's not buying that. Blitzkrieg and Eddie Guerrero. Two men.
Yeah, that is Eddie's taunt from Revenge. That's a good call, OG, man.
The cruiserweight champion.
Eddie loved to tell people to kiss his
I've
butt.
got a theory. Rey Mysterio Jr. and Conan are heavily involved with the No Limit Soldiers. I think Rey Mysterio Jr. may be ripe for the picking when it comes to the cruiserweight strap. These two men know that. They are working their way back up to #1 contendership. They want the gold in WCW.
Well, I think you're referring to the fact that Ray Jr. is spending so much time with Swole, B.A., Chase, K-Dog, as a member of the No Limit Soldiers, that he's lost his focus as far as the cruiserweight title goes. But I'm not sure that's the case. Think back a couple of months ago. Rey Mysterio Jr. at one time had both the WCW World's Tag Team title along with Kidman, as well as the cruiserweight belt.
I'm just admiring Eddie's hair.
Both championship belts at that time, maintaining
Another
his
eye
level
poke
of
in front of him.
concentration as far as the cruiserweights go. It's an awfully important belt to Rey Mysterio Jr.
It absolutely is.
Eddie's back is huge. Like, he's not nearly as massive as he would have gotten in WWF.
And the list goes on. Rey Mysterio Jr. certainly in the crosshairs of any number of cruiserweights here in WCW.
I didn't catch that, Brian, but that's very funny.
And there's no denying that since Eddie Guerrero returned to WCW several weeks ago, he has come back, well, quite.
I don't remember it for that taunt from the No Mercy game, but it might. I'm not surprised. They left over a bunch of stuff from the other THQ games.
Of his career as he just put the shoulder right into Blitzkrieg.
Step over, leapfrog from Blitzkrieg. Eddie back up, nice hip toss. No, landed on his feet, ducks a clothesline, one to the gut. Oh. Standing Enziguri from Blitzkrieg.
Him randomly inventing the Pele kick.
Enziguri as he clipped Guerrero in the back of the head.
Like, that's the thing with these Blitzkrieg matches. He'll just do a move that you didn't think was invented for like 4 or 5 years.
Of this great company, we are going to see the return. You know who it is, Mike. I'll let you stooge that one off. Who's coming back?
You're talking about Dennis
You
Rodman
stooge that one off.
WCW. Eric Bischoff made the announcement last Monday on Nitro, as well as claiming that there's going to be a special appearance this upcoming Monday by those wacky guys.
Yeah, it probably was in Creator Wrestler, because again, Aki was infamous for just leaving all the data from like the old games into the newer games.
Championship Wrestling. Oh, what a night that's going to be on TNT. I mean, get the cooler full, order 2 pizzas, and sit back. 3 hours of action.
Just choking a guy with a cord in front of the ref.
Eddie Guerrero taking the shortcuts. He and Blitzkrieg battling out on the floor, and Eddie Guerrero has taken a TV cable. He's got that coaxial cable wrapped right around the neck of
Coaxial
Blitzkrieg.
cable. Mike Tenay, of course, knows the exact term.
You know, he's never been the life of the party, but he is so just in such a bad mood, I guess, to put it one way. Eddie Guerrero, a vicious
Eddie Guerrero's been the
ring,
life of
and
the
he's
party
such a talented wrestler.
for
I
two.
wonder sometimes if he
He's
would
a
just
fun
calm down.
guy.
take a chill pill, as it were. He might
take a chill pill. This is the difference between WCW and the WWF at this point. In the WWF, you could be like, hey, bitch, calm down. WCW, take a chill pill.
And watch everyone else in the wrestling business and in World Championship Wrestling specifically make their way up the ladder, and you're forced to be on the sidelines. You're on the outside.
Like, a lot of the Attitude Era stuff doesn't age well at all.
To become a major player once again here in WCW.
But WCW at that time, because they couldn't say things, it came off so dweeby.
At the ringside area.
That's true, Hank. Because it's WCW. In the locker room, they would just have actual pills.
Good execution, but Blitzkrieg hit hard. Maybe those knees buckled when Blitzkrieg hit the floor here on TBS.
Yeah, both men crashing down hard on the
take
floor,
a chill pill might be too vulgar for AOL Times Warner standards and practices. That's right, Al Creed.
Very fortunate for Eddie. Blitzkrieg again now throws Guerrero.
Yeah, I think those Aki games, Refs' Wizards brings it up. He'll like see something a Japanese wrestler does and be like, oh, that's from No Mercy. I think those games were the gateway drug for so many fans getting into Japanese wrestling.
Blitzkrieg back to one knee. Can he get up? Yeah, Blitzkrieg back up. Oh, cut Eddie off in the corner.
I was just going to point out that the experience edge of Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, Raven spent so much money on pills that they let him name his stable before he left WCW after the fact that people thought he was going to overdose. The Deadpool.
On the mistake from Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie seated on the top turnbuckle. There it is.
Oh.
The Hurricane Runner from the top rope. Leveled Eddie Guerrero. Blitzkrieg.
Yeah, Virtual Pro 2 is awesome. I have a fun Virtual Pro 2 story. So, some of you, I sound like Troy McClure. Some of you might know me from Joe Gagney's Fun Time Pro Wrestling Arcade, that series. We got invited to host like an interactive video game booth at a convention for the Phil Zinger Games folks. And I think it's 2012, 2013. And Eddie Kingston was booked for the wrestling shows. So he's just walking around all day. And there was a point, there was nobody at our booth. And we had an N64 with Virtual Pro. And Eddie's like, hey, can I just sit down and play for a bit? Eddie Kingston proceeds to sit down at our booth for like 3 hours. And plays the shit out of Virtual Pro, like tournament mode. He was Kibashi. Kibashi's his guy.
That is gonna do it. Brainbuster from Eddie Guerrero. Wait a minute, Eddie Guerrero going back outside.
Like you'd think it was Kawada, but no, he played as Kibashi.
Oh yeah. Blitzkrieg, if you've got anything left, roll out of the way. Eddie. Oh.
Beautiful Brainbuster, great frog splash. That is it.
Eddie Guerrero with the
good match.
Gets the Duke on Blitzkrieg.
Again, one of those matches where it's like it's really good, so I can't really riff on it, so I have to like bring up other stuff. Really good match. Look at that hair. Jimmy Barron. God, those NWO tie-dye shirts were so hideous.
Dude, it's imperative that you use 1-800. Call ATT for collect calls.
Now that's a plan, dude. I'm Jimmy Barron with your Road Report, fans.
Yeah, Lee Marshall was long gone at this point.
WCW will be just down the block from the Rock River.
Actually, read about it recently. He got mad because he thought that there's at some point in like a few months before this where they shifted out Shivani for Scott Hudson on Nitro commentary, and he got mad that he didn't get that job. And everyone around is like, no, you don't do play-by-play. And he got mad and quit. I didn't even catch that. He was wearing a Grateful Dead hat or something. 1-800-COLLECT was advertising on both wrestling shows.
For control of
look at Arn. Arn was shockingly good at being like cartoonish comic relief for like this Attitude Era back and forth promo bullshit in '99 when he was Flair's sidekick. What the fuck?
Mark your calendar. It's this
Channel 17 had some issues. We're back.
For control of the company.
Yeah, Sting turns heel about 7 or 8 weeks after this. Oh god, Wyatt 6, we're being hacked. Got a VHS tape here.
Involved. Arn Anderson and Little H and Asia and the entire world get involved, but Sting.
The entire world got involved.
He told Ric Flair he wanted control.
God, Arn Anderson's outfit when he came out to take over for the strap match, the I Respect You Booker Man thing, those shorts.
It ended up with Sting dropping the
What?
diamond death drop on Little Nate.
No, you stick it to the WCW was channel 42 there.
I'm
trying to think what was. I think TBS was 48 on our cable system. Remember, MTV was 28, VH1 was 29, TNN was 30, CMT was 31, Nickelodeon was 35, A&E was 37, Weather Channel was 38, USA was 39, Sci-Fi was 40, Lifetime was 41, Food Network was 42, FX was 43, CNN was 44, CNBC was 45, MSNBC was 46, I forget what 47 was, 48 was TBS, and then 49 was TNT.
And through for the better part of 15 years, you got to admire a man with that sort of stick-withness.
Here we go, Lash LeRoux. Comedy Central is 59.
From not having to worry anymore about those wacky memos from the office of the president.
This is Lash LeRoux a couple months before his big push.
To World Championship Wrestling. I know there are several hundred employees.
It is wild. Nathan brings up what his channel layout is. I can't remember anybody's phone number these days. I can barely remember what I eat for lunch. But I can remember almost the entire cable diet from when I was a kid.
This past Thursday, or actually Wednesday on Thunder. Larry Zbyszko,
Kenny Chaos.
David Deere and the headlights flare.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, I heard that
Last week he was just
in the
Chaos.
president's office.
Oh, there'll be another memo.
Yep, there's heat on Larry.
Boy, well,
You know, it's not as funny to do the, oh, I'm doing a big jacked up guy thing when you're big and jacked up.
Tie it up here on TBS. Boy, did you see Lash LeRoux doing an impersonation of Kenny Chaos? I mean, Lash is in good shape, but he can't go muscle for muscle with Chaos.
Yeah, that's a big mistake on the part of Lash LeRoux.
Kenny Chaos at this point had been kind of a tag champ.
He needs to be sneaky. He needs to
Like,
hit and
I
run.
guess technically he wasn't a tag champ.
Let's go ahead and apologize to the closed caption guys for stick with it.
Judy, either him or Judy wasn't the actual tag champ. I think it was even both of them.
Exactly what you said.
Oh, good. I'll have to find him. Oh, Lash right to the gut on Kenny Chaos. Side headlock from Lash LeRoux. People expect
like it's one of those like Mandela effect things. Like people remember. Like Kenny Chaos was with Rick Steiner, and he like defended the tag belts with him, but he wasn't a tag champ.
I'm firmly in the corner of the raging cage, and this youngster from Louisiana, Lash LeRoux. But I think primarily
I think one week we need to just not watch wrestling and just go through cable dials.
Future is unlimited.
You know, earlier on we heard from
Kenny Chaos with
Gene Okerlund,
not quite a stretch bump. It's like a different version of that type of
Gene
hold.
made it through, but we understand that Jimmy Hart.
Yeah, all the gray just makes this show look sad. I'm with you, Bowser extension. And cold, too. Yeah, I think it was Steiner and Bagwell that actually won the belts. And then Steiner, like, brought out Judy Bagwell with one of the belts. Oh, shit, to get under Bagwell's skin. And then I think there was a match where him and Chaos defended.
He only lies when his lips move.
Whoa! I didn't know he was an attorney. Kenny
Womp,
Chaos.
womp, womp.
OH Lash LeRoux and Lash. Do not worry about the fans at ringside. You're fighting.
Cecil Nix, thank you so much for the sub.
I didn't think Lash LeRoux had his head
Appreciate
in the match,
the
but
prime
he did.
sub, my
Ducked
friend.
under that one from Kenny Chaos. LeRoux back up to the apron.
Big night for the gambler. Hell yeah.
Show me some veteran veteran thinking in there.
Yeah, but
Oh, wait a
don't
second.
turn your back on Kenny Chaos, Lash.
Never.
Also appreciate you popping up tonight. I'll say it here publicly. I really hope you get to wrestle Microman at the next Mystery Wrestling show. I think that's the match to make.
Those things are like anchored in out there. For Pete's sake. Chaos now. Oh, takes LeRoux.
Judas Effect, was this marketed as Saturday Night taping, or was this filmed for another show like Nitro? No, this was its own thing. Oh man, bummer. But hey, Microman at the next Mystery Wrestling show. Check that out. I forget the date. First Cecil can help us out. Mystery Wrestling, one of the best indie promotions in North America. Just so weird and fun.
LeRoux out at 2.
Nicely done.
You have something much more insane than Microman. All right, I'm excited.
Right on the WCW logo.
But no, Saturday Night was, they did their own tapings in like smaller buildings. And judging by the fact that there is no lights outside of the ringside area should tell you how many fans they drew.
Always thinking, runs in, back elbow, nailed Chaos. LeRoux, the breakdance down, back up. Oh, misses the close.
This is that era where everybody had a dance they did before their big punch.
Chaos was ready for it. He's going to take him up with a gut wrench.
That should be a thing that comes back.
Oh, what impact. I can't describe.
Everybody has a little dance they do before their punch.
LeRoux. The foot over the lower steel.
Like Road Dogg got it over and then just it went wild. R-Truth does it, but like his is actually like an impressive dance. Like that's just some goofy bullshit. R-Truth does like a big twist and then like a jumping split. Lash LeRoux does a split, but R-Truth I feel like jumps 10 feet in the air and then drops down on his balls.
Crossbody, nailed it. He hangs on. Ladder up past 2. And LeRoux got the 2 on Kenny Chaos.
Like I'm talking like some stuff like the Road Dogg where you just like kind of do a pee-pee dance. Just some real dumb shit. Yeah, and Truth's been doing it since this era. That's a good point, Bowser. So essentially he was grandfathered in.
Jimmy Hart of the First Family following this matchup, but I got a warning. Gene, if you can get word to Jimmy Hart, maybe you want to tell him during the interview, Fit Finley's still in the building. He's going to be in the ring later in this broadcast. Jimmy Hart better not think that because Fit Finley has done his interview segment that Fit Finley jumped in the cab and went back to the hotel. He's still here.
That's pretty much what they did. That's what Terry Taylor's job was. Was you show up to the building for like Saturday night and the whole roster's there, you're like, fuck, what am I supposed to do? Like there are stories of like at the worldwide tapings of like a bunch of wrestlers just sitting by the curtain and Terry's like, you go. Because he didn't want to put it down on paper.
Speaking of taking over, Sting may be taking over come Tuesday morning. I'm going to be at the office Tuesday morning, I'm telling you. I'm going to
you won't, Scott. You have a real job.
To get back to Atlanta to WCW Central just to see Sting.
WCW Central. I would love if that's what they called their shitty little office in Smyrna.
In Atlanta, Georgia. If that's the case, they'll have balloons, they'll have posters. The WCW employees
I hope like Super Dragon's basement is called PWG Central.
If everything goes well on Monday night.
I certainly hope so. Meanwhile, Kenny Chaos, at the clothesline, leveled Lash LeRoux. But LeRoux's back up, ran right into it. Shoulder high on Chaos. LeRoux all but out. On the shoulder. Oh,
that's a good point. No, you stick it. If Terry Taylor wrote out what he wanted to write out on those cards, that would be evidence for a lawsuit. Here we go. High voltage springboard. Those guys love to do springboards and never do the same thing twice. Like, Robbie Rage used to do like springboard spinning wheel kicks and just jump so high in the air. Like there was one match, we might have even watched it on here a while back, where they did springboard doomsday device. And Rage does the spinning wheel kick, and he misses because he jumped too high.
To get this man out, Jimmy Hart, come on in. You are the spiritual leader, in fact, of the First Family. But what happened this past Monday night on WCW Monday Nitro is absolutely
That would be so
outrageous.
funny if, like you get busted for something major in Atlanta, and Scott Hudson walks in to interrogate you.
What do you mean? We stole the trophy. You know, there was 12, 13 other guys around the ring. Anybody could have got it. But you know what? Let's make a long story short. You're right.
Like, honestly, badass jacket.
Because you see the toughest
like,
man
we get to kind of
that was in the
look at it and
junkyard
see the
match is
details
coming out here
we
right
normally
now,
don't
and he's
get
got
to.
the trophy. Your trophy? No, it's our trophy. If you want it, come and get it, Finley.
It's the first family
It's Jerry
trophy,
Flynn
and I
with
got
the trophy.
it for him.
Hey, Skunky Beaumont, glad to see you checking in. Just in time for Jerry Flynn.
Look at it close. Hardcore. And the only reason Finley got it is because he was that
Hardcore.
grass that left the fight.
I got this from a
Everyone else was in
summer
there taking
camp.
care of business, okay? Everybody. And all of a sudden, he's over the fence because he didn't want me or anyone else in the first family busting his head.
Jerry Flynn wrestled in UWFI
distributor caps on
in
automobiles
Japan.
anymore.
He was
What
on.
kind
He was
of
a
a
Florida
junkyard did
indie
this come
guy.
This
for a
was
long
in the
time.
heart of Fort Lauderdale.
I think he did
You had to fight
IPW
your way to get into
hardcore
the
in Florida
junkyard. You had
after
to fight your
WCW.
way to get out of the junkyard. And we came out with a trophy. This man is the hardcore champion, Mean Gene. And if anybody doesn't like it, especially you, Finley, then hey, come and get it.
Tell him, come get some.
Like his job was to kind of lose to Goldberg because he was the guy that knew how to have the best Goldberg matches.
Because you're not as hardcore as
Because he did
Sean.
shoot style, and Goldberg was good at shoot style.
Give me a break. This man said,
That's amazing to see. I'll read this. I remember once some local quote-unquote wrestler made his own hardcore belt, and the front paint was just a circular saw blade. He badly cut himself on his entrance. That's amazing.
And Jimmy Hart, the first family, right now in their possession, they have the hardcore title. Stay tuned, more Saturday night when we come back.
New address.
New address, old footage.
With more news updates and a fresh new look, WCW.com is better than ever. Get ready
You
for
go on there,
polls,
watch real video clips of Scott Putski.
Plus, check out the brand new Superstar section featuring 25 of WCW and
WCW had like 200 wrestlers under contract, and they had 25 bios. Also, all the luchadors had to sit around one laptop.
All right, back here on TBS, big Saturday night underway. You know, it's one thing to watch World Championship Wrestling here on the ball, but when it comes to town, that's totally a different thing. Couple of dates I want to mention.
Of course,
Friday,
that guy's
August
one of
the 20th
those
at the
guys,
Cow Palace,
Cecil.
out
The
of
guy
Rancho
who cut
San
himself with the
Francisco,
saw plate
California.
belt. It's like, this
Tickets on
mystery
sale at the
wrestling
box
stuff's
office
just
and all
ridiculous.
Bass ticket outlets in the greater San Francisco Bay Area. Saturday, August 21st, we're going to be in Reno,
Indie
Nevada,
wrestling, baby.
at the Lawler Event Center. Tickets on sale in Reno at the box office and at all Bass ticket outlets. Out in
All
Reno, of course, you
Bass
can
ticket
catch
out.
a little wrestling
I'm
action
picturing those
and
Billy
also hit the table.
Basses
On Sunday, August the
that
22nd,
like sing the
we're gonna
songs or
be
whatever.
back in
Like,
Los Angeles at the Great
they own
Western
it.
Forum. Tickets on sale at the box office and at all Ticketmaster locations. Plus, tickets to go. On sale next
I'm
Saturday
surprised there's been
with
no
some big
typos
WCW
in any of these
upcoming
graphics.
events. Let's talk about them. Wednesday, August the 4th, Cedar Rapids, Iowa at the Five Seasons
Five
Center.
Seasons
Get
Center.
your tickets in advance at the box office and at all Ticketmaster outlets. Wednesday, August the 18th, we're going to be
Billy
in
Basses
Amarillo,
starts singing and
Texas,
chicken
at the
shit out at
Civic
you.
Center. That is great wrestling country. In Amarillo, tickets will be available at the box office.
But you
and
can't
at
say
all
why,
the
'cause
other
Terry Funk's
usual
not in the
ticket
company.
locations. And WCW Thunder is coming to Lubbock, Texas
Lubbock.
on Thursday, August the 19th at the Civic Center. Tickets on sale next Saturday at the box office and at all select-a-seat locations.
Select-a-seat.
This is WCW
That's a box
Saturday night. Stay tuned for more action.
They should have won the
Promotional
box office.
consideration paid for by the following. This
Ticket
is a sunflower
master.
seed, a David sunflower seed. They go great anywhere.
So
Most
shout out
people
Jonathan
prefer
Mayer.
to
I
go
just
in
got the
mouth.
alert.
How else would you taste 70
Thank you
years
so
of
much,
roasting perfection?
bud.
Drive into a
Appreciate it.
Travelodge location for free in-room coffee, free
Got
lobby
the virtual
newspaper,
tip
and a
jar
great room
open
at a
up
great
there.
rate.
Not gonna bag,
Call
but if it's
1-800-578-7878
had people
now for
like the
Travelodge.
idea of what I did
Couple who
Sunday
did
on
not
Off the
send
Grids,
money
I'm
Western
gonna leave it
Union
up there.
And the heartbreaker card. I just spent hours with the tow truck guy. Later tonight.
Western Union, the fastest way to send money worldwide.
Car smoking, oil leaking,
Car
you
smoking.
need no
The
smoke
guys-
plus
that's how I am.
Stops oil burning.
Like
and
last week,
stops
I had
oil
to
leaks. From world
handle
famous
a
Bardol,
coolant
name you can
car.
trust.
If you were awarded a structured settlement,
Also,
or
that
lottery winnings payable over time,
that list of grocery
enjoy your
stores
money
that
now.
mentioned
Call
Schnucks.
for your
I've
qualifying
worked at a
analysis
Schnucks,
and receive
and I lived
this
in
information
Evansville.
kit free.
Call
I worked at
1-800-761-8244 now to get cash for your lottery winnings or structured settlements. Don't sign with
WCW
anyone
Pro,
until
like
you
people
compare
were
our
actually
offer. Call
booked on it. They would just book
1-800-761-8244.
the entire undercard, and whoever, and like they would just make matches out of everybody. And Brent, I guess I have news on that. on the 1,000 follower bonus stream.
On Monday Nitro,
we'll get to that news here in about 10-15 minutes or so. Big old news.
Turned loose the members of the First Family as
that card did badly need to save us.
Jealous Jimmy Hart stole
or a doob tube. They sell doob tubes on Amazon now. For you folks that like to partake in marijuana. Doob tubes. Put your blunt.
You know, earlier tonight here on WCW Saturday Night, Scott, we heard from Finley, and we just heard earlier from Jimmy Hart and Jerry Flynn as well. But
I believe that guy's car is parked right behind the entrance that Buddy Lee Parker just walked out of. Why are we running so much smoke in a building that probably holds 1,000 people?
I like Euro Trio. That's pretty good.
Buddy Lee Parker in his WCW Mayhem ring gear. Where he comes out on screen like this, like everybody. This is the fighting stance in WCW Mayhem. Bushwhacker, like shit. God. It's amazing the Bushwhackers never ended up in WCW. They were Hogan cronies.
Put him into the ring at the WCW power plant with this man.
Yeah, everybody in Mayhem, just did this. Like, I think it was supposed to be like hands posed like that, but the way they did like the mocap or whatever, they couldn't close their fists. And they never fixed it. There we go, Dave Fit Finley. I think this is interesting. I think Buddy Lee Parker in his head thinks that he is what people think, what everybody else in the world thinks Finley is a wrestler. And Parker never really left the WCW sphere and being like the power plant guy, whereas Finley wrestled like everywhere. Oh yeah, the Bushwhackers. If Russo and Hogan were buddies, the Bushwhackers would have been like sheep fuckers. Guaranteed.
And I don't know that Sarge probably he would sign on the dotted line to face all.
Yeah, that's what I hate about WWE.
According to the contract anyway, Fit Finley and Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker.
Telling, I guess, of WCW history.
You know, last Sunday night, Mike,
is that everything WCW is like, look at this stupid shit. Glacier, am I right? Glacier is fucking cool. And yes, Cecil, this absolutely would have been a team. They would have won in the first round of King of Trios against like the Roughnecks. Maybe second round, squeaked one by the Unstable, and then in the semis, Fist would have gotten one over. I agree with you. And you know that Regal would have been down to clown. In terms of like funny spots, not the other meaning.
When you have a bucket on your head. Well, I don't know. You can't. Piper proved it Sunday, but then you saw what happened Monday on Nitro when Bagwell got involved with the Cat and Sonny Ono.
Somebody called Buff's mama. The Cat wants Buff. And we saw it go down Monday in Jacksonville on Nitro, and what a matchup that would be, actually. Buff Bagwell certainly has come into his own, and that Buff blockbuster as devastating as any maneuver in pro wrestling, but the Cat, when he gets that one red shoe on, that can be pretty devastating in and of itself.
Yeah, the Cat and Buff Bagwell had an impromptu battle this past Monday on Nitro, but of course when you had Sonny Ono involved as the referee trying to count the shoulders of Buff Bagwell down.
All right, I think we're back. My dog walked under the table and unplugged my microphone.
With a double axe handle down on Finley, and now Regal.
Hey, Cesar Mania 87. Why did they get there to WCW Saturday Night? They were trying to downsize the amount of television they were doing. And just they were bleeding money, and they didn't want to shoot a third television show at the weekly TV taping with Nitro and Thunder, and they didn't want to run another TV taping just for the Saturday Night crew, so they got rid of it.
Really is an interesting matchup, almost mirror images.
Yeah, my apologies if there's any weird noise. My dog Archie is being a real asshole.
When it comes to their in-ring
clacking around on the floor.
Full speed ahead for both men as they hook it up in the middle of the ring.
Fit Finley still irate over losing that hardcore trophy. You know, compare David Flair and Fit Finley.
Wait, you said he lost the hardcore trophy.
Well, yeah, it was stolen.
That's
from
right,
him.
La Bamba Dubak. Yeah, they could justify firing like 35 guys. Oh, we don't have TV time for these guys anymore.
Look what Fit Finley went through to get the hardcore trophy. That junkyard.
I'll tell Archie you put him over, Russ.
Cars, bumpers.
Hey, normally it's our other dog, Eleanor, barking yip-yapping in the background. But tonight, Archie, little bastard,
Fit Finley emerged as the king of hardcore, and during the trophy
getting heckled from the other side of the house by my wife.
Compare that.
And it would be nice to Archie.
Became United States champion.
Yeah, that's right, Cesar Mania. Near the end of WCW, it was a live Nitro. They would tape a little bit of Thunder beforehand, and then the rest of it after.
Fit Finley went through in Europe, Japan,
like the last 8-10 weeks of Thunder, like the first hour is really good, and the second hour sucks.
Absolutely.
Because the first hour, because they didn't really want to think about it, because they're already doing Nitro, they would just do like 2 long cruiserweight just to fill the time. And then the second hour, when everybody's leaving, they like, oh, we got to send out Dustin Rhodes at his worst. Rick Steiner. Regal was not doing great. He had left WCW at this point. He had his WWF run that ended in disaster because of his demons, and then he got the WCW job back. And he was trying to get things going again, trying to get off the stuff that he was on, and it just wasn't working.
I don't know, hit me with a punchline.
Because his dad keeps putting the belt on him.
It's not funny.
Yeah, I'm not complaining that every Nitro Thunder and pay-per-view had a 3-count Young Dragons match at the end.
Please.
Great matches.
As old as I am.
And then there was the period where they like, we got to change it up. So we're gonna take Evan Courageous from 3-count and Jamie Song from the Young Dragons. We're gonna, instead of trios matches, we're gonna do triple threat tags. That's a good point, Cecil. The hardcore guy in this match is the one wearing gear. Those Finley would be in chemo before long.
Double leg sweep takedown. Finley trying to fight his way up. No. Whoa. Back into the
Because him and Brian Knobbs were like the fake Dudley boys when he came back after that horrific table injury.
Goes up to the middle turnbuckle. Walking the ropes.
Noble and Courageous were a fun tag team. Also, they had one of the funniest like backstories. Like they just made up. I think it was like Evan was banging Jamie Noble's sister or something, and they all went to high school together. Yeah, Buddy Lee Parker loved that Grand Nanawa elbow. The crab walk, he would do it all the time. Also, I've never seen someone do the tombstone where they just drop down to one knee. That looked pretty sick.
Buddy Lee Parker gave it his absolute all. Outnumbered by Finley, Taylor, and Regal from the opening bell. Finally, Finley was able to turn things around using that headbutt out of the fireman's carry, spiked him with the tombstone pile driver.
Like, if they would have gotten these guys in the mix with, like, the Revolution crew and the Proto-Filthy Animals, they could have had a lot of fun. Because, like, even with Regal having his issues, like, Taylor and Finley are really
big Saturday night here on the Superstation. Attention hotline fans.
And they're like, no, Dave Finley has to be the hardcore guy.
And my phone has been ringing off the hook.
Brian, Buddy Lee Parker gave his absolute all. Unfortunately, he's terrible, so he still lost.
Backstage to witness the first-time meeting as Shane Douglas arrived in World Championship Wrestling and met face-to-face with WCW President, the Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Gene Okerlund hyping up small WCW lore.
What each has said about the other. Well, I've got the story about this first-time meeting tonight during my exclusive hotline report.
Because, yeah, right before Shane jumped, Flair was doing press. They would ask him, hey, we hear Shane Douglas is coming in, and Flair's like, I'll never fucking work with him.
I've got a little footnote here on Jesse the Body Ventura, the governor. It all happens at 1-900.
Yeah, I think Gene's hyping there that Jesse's coming into the WWF. WCW Cannon is the dog still in the woods where Mouse left him. Pretty sure. Yeah.
Permission, but do call the hotline right
Poor
now.
Al Green.
Back to more action.
They made out. It was probably something like they didn't talk.
But when you see Diamond
Hey, Death Scene, not a fan of this logo.
You will see the other two members of the triad Bam Bam Bigelow and Kenyon were soon to get
it took me
involved.
way too long, as in within the last year or so, to figure out that it does say WCW on the side of the sides of the logo or the W's.
Black and white, they love a
And there's
rib
like
more than anybody. The pranksters watched on.
I never figured that out. But yeah, I think it looks like shit.
Like seeing his brother being taken advantage of.
And he took matters into his own hands. Big Stevie Ray left the dressing room, ran down the aisle.
And the thing is, I thought it looked, the logo, the big logo stage, looked way cooler than just that as a logo.
Well, my question is, was that a one-night reunion for Booker T?
What was Shivani's nickname for the logo again? I forget.
Stevie Ray come out to the ring possibly with Booker T for this matchup against.
That's the thing, is they didn't even do full motion replays for Nitro, which was on free television.
Signed on the dotted line. It's our main event here on TBS.
Here we go, main event. We still got another episode of WCW Saturday Night to go. We got a short one after this. We're still going to go for a bit. And again, like I mentioned earlier, right after this episode, we are going to talk about a special bonus stream coming up this Sunday on Twitch. To celebrate a big milestone. Yeah, I've heard the Byrd shit logo. Like they, I think it was like a pay-per-view ad.
Crispy M&Ms, let the feeding frenzy begin.
Like where it just says it looks like something a Byrd left on it, like an actual pay-per-view ad. That's seen Shivani called it the exploding V. I mean, it's got a point.
And maybe we'll get an answer to the question that we posed earlier.
Everything in there.
Will he come out solo? Or will he come out?
I believe Horace Hogan is the last member of the NWO Black and White.
He's out here on his own to face Big Horace Hogan.
Facing old fire crotch Booker T.
It's amazing how one simple act of Stevie Ray coming to the rescue of his brother on Nitro can just leave an ocean of unanswered questions. And thus far, we haven't.
By the way, shout out to everyone tuning in. We are crushing it tonight, viewer-wise.
Right there on the table. The guy talks nonstop.
Holy shit! I just saw the numbers.
Totally since Monday night, Booker T completely close-lipped about what happened. We don't know.
You know,
I do care, but right now, Booker
I will reach out. I'll probably get a no to this effect, but I have a mutual cable arcade. I have a couple mutuals. I should ask. I'll probably get a no.
It's what everybody's talking about. This association that went down.
Thank you, Russ's Wizard. I just looked down. Like I've tried to not pay attention to the numbers while I'm streaming, because then I get like all paranoid and shit. I just looked down. Holy shit, there are a lot of people watching.
Or is there something
Hell yeah.
more to Booker
Thank you
T
all,
and
everybody.
Stevie Ray
We're growing this
reuniting?
thing.
I mean, think back to the Harlem Heat.
Hey,
Among the
Juan,
most dominant
welcome.
tag teams of this decade.
God, look,
we've seen the flawless
people don't
transition that both men
say
have
enough
made
about Booker T,
in the
how
ranks of
freaking
singles
big he
competitors. But what a mark
That's a
Stevie Ray
big
and
ass
Booker
dude.
T would make on
His
the tag team
traps are
ranks
up to
of
his damn
WCW
ears.
if they were to reform as Harlem Heat.
I tell you what, the triad
Gambler is a draw.
of Diamond Dallas
Next
Page,
week,
Bam
Best
Bam
of the
Bigelow,
Gambler.
and Canyon. Oh, I tell you what, those belts would not be safe around their waist if Harlem Heat. And we're not saying they are back together. We don't know.
Yeah,
But
Stevie
if
Ray
they
was
are,
even bigger. He was the big brother.
do
That's the thing.
not
Booker
get
T was
too attached to
the
those
little
belts,
brother.
Triad.
Booker T
Harlem
is a
Heat, they want
gigantic
back.
human being.
One
Booker
other
T
reason for the
way bigger
Triad
than
not to
him.
get too attached
It's insane
to the
how
World
big
Tag
those
Team
dudes
titles and the fact that they can use their quote-unquote triad rules where they can change on the
Triad
fly with any
rules,
combination
brother.
of two of those three wrestlers. What happens Monday if and when Sting is able to knock off Ric Flair? We've all talked about the triad and their
Booker
bond, their
T's one of those
association with
wrestlers.
Ric Flair, the fact that Flair
When you see him in
turns the
person,
other way and
fuck.
actually allows the triad
I didn't know they
to
made
thwart the
people
tag
that
team
big.
rules,
Mick Foley's
because in the
another.
past, the triad have been there
Like, we all
to
talk about
physically
Billy
back
Gunn,
up
of
Ric
course,
Flair.
Billy Gunn's
Well,
huge.
what
Mick
happens to the
Foley.
triad and their special rules if Sting
I
is the
walked
president
behind him
of
once
World
at a,
Championship Wrestling this
2004,
Monday after he beats Ric
2005
Flair
at
on Nitro.
Wizard
Well,
World
you could say
Chicago.
goodbye to the
I was just like
triad
at the
rules. I
hotel
think that
hanging
would
out
be
with
one of the
friends,
first things he would do.
and like I was walking to the hotel
When-
restaurant,
when
and Mick
Sting
Foley
takes
was
over
walking in front of me.
presidency of World Championship Wrestling. Got
And like
confidence
I'm
in the
not a
franchise.
small guy.
That's
I was a lot
face
thinner then.
of
I've
triad
put on some
rules
weight,
things
unfortunately,
that Page
but
and Bigelow
I was still
and
like
Canyon
6
have going
foot.
on with the tag team strap.
That's
I think a lot of people have confidence
on
in
me.
Sting after we
I
saw
could have
the way
worn
they
Mick
went through
Foley's
David
body
Flair,
like a mech,
Arn Anderson and Ric Flair had them in retreat
robot, like a Megazord.
just several nights ago on Nitro.
There is strength in numbers, unless that number is 1, and that 1 is Sting. Monday night, he took on 4 people. 2 of them were Asia and David Flair. I guess Asia is probably a better man than David Flair, actually, but enough about that. Horace under the rope, step over on Booker T. Leapfrog from Booker. What agility!
And again, Booker not just huge, also so agile.
Caught Horace Hogan with the drop kick. Oh, took him down to the mat.
Yeah, Bigelow, I would imagine. I've never been in the same room as Bam Bam
Nice
Bigelow.
follow-up by Booker T. Laid out Horace Hogan with the lariat and immediately
With Mick,
jumped
it's
on
not
for the 3
like
count, an attempt anyway.
he's a big guy, but it wasn't in the way you would think he was big. Like, it's not that he's over. It wasn't the belly or anything, you know.
Then when you're out there,
you know, Mick and I share a love of food. It's just he's just a big guy. Like, he could drop all that weight and still just be a big freaking guy.
There is only one speed, and that's full speed ahead for Booker T. And when he is on, there may not be anybody better in World Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, it's weird how wrestlers, Cecil brings it up. It's wild how some wrestlers look so small on TV, and then you see them, you're the width of like 6. And then there's big guys that you meet in person, it's like, not that big. Yeah, Stevie Richards is really tall.
He certainly has an allegiance to his brother, Booker T.
No question about it.
Yeah, I would imagine Brooke Hogan. Brooke Hogan looked really tall on TV.
And the next chapter may be written right.
Like, it was so funny when she was like the Knockouts president or whatever that role was, and like all the wrestlers are like looking up to her like this because they're all like 5 foot tall and she's 6'2" or whatever, wearing heels.
Not able to connect. Big Horace able to avoid that standing Harlem sidekick.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels is a really tiny fella, which I'm sure is why he likes the really tiny fellas, because you always push your representation in the ring. Like, that's why Vince McMahon loved to push big guys. That's why Eric Bischoff was cool with like cruiserweight ones.
Now putting the boots to Booker T. There you heard the Horace.
Yeah, I'm not so, like, Bobby Roode's a guy who
the lone member
seems pretty short.
Oh man! Ooh,
yeah, Brian. For those of you who don't know, Brian used to work for Spike TV, on Paramount Network, etc. So Brian has a lot of these fun anecdotes. Brian said he was at one of those guy choice deals Spike did back in the day. Brooke Hogan was Bobby Roode's date, and she was discernibly taller than him.
The other thing that's at the top of my mind, Scott Hudson, the world's heavyweight champion.
Like, I remember her, like, some of those segments with Bully Ray when they were doing the romance thing. She was taller than him.
Savage, a lot of people will say thanks to that jackknife powerbomb from Kevin Nash. But think about the confrontation, the verbal exchange.
Yeah, this is the most, like, we have to fill time just doing whatever match possible.
The Road Wild 99 pay-per-view event coming up on the 14th of August.
Ciampa's a little guy.
Hogan hooked the leg and only got the 2 count. You know, I tell you what, Road Wild coming up August 14th from Sturgis.
Yeah,
South
Hogan's
Dakota.
finally getting his revenge on Booker T from
That may just be like a
Spring
separated
Stampede. Oh yeah.
Those 2 guys may go all night.
I've
long.
heard Brooke Hogan's.
Hogan and Kevin Nash.
My favorite Brooke Hogan thing is that interview she did at Squared Circle Expo in Indianapolis. Or some random YouTube podcast dude got to interview her for a few minutes, and he's like, "What would you change about wrestling, Brooke?" And she goes, "They really need to unionize." And the guy goes, "You know who blocked the unions in '85, right?" And then she had to be told gently that it was her dad. And it got real awkward. It's so funny. If you haven't seen it, go find it on YouTube.
Into the ropes, ducks the clothesline, crisscross, oh, big forearm, leveled Horace.
But my understanding is she's completely separated from both parents. Like, doesn't talk to either of them. She's just doing her thing in Nashville.
His partner Horace Hogan just get pummeled in there. Oh, ho, ho, with the spine buster. from Booker T. No. Oh, 2.5.
Booker T doing YouTube face.
Can't believe it.
Want to get them hits.
Johnny Boone, but it was only 2. Oh, and he turned right around. Oh, he turned him inside out. Did Horace with that clothesline. But look at him break dance up to his feet.
Look at him break dance up to his feet. Yes, exactly, Brian. She's the smart Hogan. She got away from that circus. Nick's still in the middle of it. Nick's still doing stuff at Hogan's restaurant. He's a goofball.
Hits the power move, turns around, and Booker T is there and ready. Knocked him out with that Harlem sidekick and followed up with the pinfall.
Hey, Chip Sanity. Hey, we still got a full episode left, so still got plenty to watch. Yeah, that spine buster was a bit iffy. All right, so like I mentioned, before we go to our second truncated episode of Saturday Night, here's what we'll be watching Sunday. Not off the grid, but to celebrate 1,000 Twitch followers. Doing a special Sunday WCW Deep Cuts surprise special extravaganza.
She's the nitroest nitro girl of them all.
My dream girl, bro.
I got your poster up in my room.
Which one?
It's this one.
Ready to rumble. Rated PG-13.
That is Sunday, 8 p.m., normal off-the-grid time slot. Twitch only, by the way. If you're watching this on the YouTube VOD, there's no way in hell I'll be able to put that on YouTube. So, Twitch only. Ready to rumble this Sunday at 8 p.m. Twitch, you know where it is. Second rave of the evening. Again, we're going till about 11:15, 11:20 tonight.
Saturday night, Mike Tenay here on the Superstation. Mike, later in this broadcast, a new occupant in the
So either these two don't do
WCW.
laundry,
It's about time we finally have
or
a
maybe
voice
this
of
was
reason
taped on the same
in
day.
control and in charge of the World Championship Wrestling Organization.
Hell yeah, Brian.
Went
Brian
down
will be
last Sunday on
intoxicated.
Nitro. Sting
Shout
locked
out to
into
Marla
Scorpion on
going
Ric
to
Flair,
France.
And Eric
Holy
Bischoff
shit.
jumped into the ring, and he made sure that Ric Flair submitted. Yes, Sting's
Thank
in
you so
control.
much.
Also,
No, you
last
stick it.
Monday on
Hell
Nitro,
yeah.
we saw the return
Thank you.
of the
Appreciate it.
Phenom Goldberg. We'll relive that tonight on the Superstation.
Quite a memorable moment. I recall as Nitro went off the air, seeing Sting, Goldberg,
Sting,
and Hollywood Hogan
Goldberg. He's
in the
doing
ring
like the Chris
representing
Farley
World
as
Championship
Matt
That and
Foley.
much more,
The
including our
hands.
main event on Saturday night.
So Sting and Hogan in a van down by the river.
Eddie Guerrero. Yeah, they're going to fly high on the Superstation. Let's go to the ring for Eddie Guerrero on Saturday night.
Oh, here we go. Eddie Guerrero and his incredible
Scott, it was
ponytail.
not only a very memorable Nitro this past Monday, but what a matchup Thursday on Thunder involving the man
Okay,
that's
this
making
is
his
going to
way to the
be
ring right
much
now, and
different
I'm
than the
talking
last
about
Eddie Guerrero match we
Guerrero.
saw.
What an intense individual
Eddie Guerrero,
is.
I believe, is
And you can
wrestling
see it on his
Adrian
face,
Byrd.
the
Look at Eddie
intensity
making
as
those
he comes to the
titties
ring with his
dance.
singles matchup against Adrian Byrd. But thinking back to last Thursday night, the newly formed tag team
I
of
believe,
Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio Jr. In my
if I
mind,
remember
certainly
correctly,
set a
I
message
asked
to the other tag teams in World Championship
pal of mine who had
Wrestling,
been in the
and that's
warehouse
be on the alert,
about
and that
the
even
WCW
includes
entrance
the
sets,
Triad, the World Tag
and I was
Team
told that a
Champions.
lot of that shit got thrown away even before the sale. Like, they have pieces of the Nitro sets, but like, not as much as you'd think.
They go the way of that, remember when we couldn't go over the top rope and we pulled up the mats? Remember those days? Those days are gone. Ric Flair's
Scott
gone.
Hudson,
The Triad
like,
rules
hey,
may be
fuck
gone.
you, Bill Watts.
Now that Sting is in charge of WCW.
But yeah, Adrian Byrd and Eddie Guerrero. This might be the greatest discrepancy of wrestling ability in one match.
They had all the rules in their favor with Ric Flair In the cat
Also, Adrian Byrd, one of the
wrestling.
shortest,
But now that Sting is
quote-unquote,
in
traditional
the
wrestlers you'll ever see.
One would think that common sense would prevail, and those triad rules may be overruled.
Eddie might be like an inch taller. Eddie's really short. Adrian Byrd's supposed to be like a big, jacked-up bodybuilder, and he's pretty much the same height as Eddie.
Very talented inside the squared circle. They probably didn't need the triad rules to hang on to those straps. But they had it, now they don't.
Adrian Byrd and Dave Burkhead.
Work as hard to hang on because they knew they had the triad rule.
Yeah, they always
like
had those triad rules
somehow way ahead of everybody else on the roster in terms of being so much worse than even the worst, laziest guys.
Two wrestlers, not only as talented as Eddie and Ray Jr., but certainly as quick, as fast.
And yeah, of course, Nick Patrick's refereeing this match.
No question
Fucking
about it.
6'2" Nick Patrick.
We saw the alliance formed last Monday night in Rockford, Illinois.
Yeah, you can tell Adrian Byrd's from the power plant because he is the size of a small truck.
Live television, nothing like it. And that crowd in
Like, these two literally look like children.
When Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio Jr.
Adrian Byrd seems genuinely confused how to do a Greco-Roman knuckle.
You on a job well done as the play-by-play voice this past Monday on Nitro, and I was thinking about that. Eddie Guerrero was attacked.
Eddie's doing a masterful job of creating something while doing absolutely nothing with this guy who he knows can do nothing.
But it seems like any problems that those two have had.
Yeah, Nick Patrick's mustache at this point is
and they
huge.
form quite a potent tag team, as we witnessed this past Thursday on Thunder when they
Nick Patrick, like, yeah, I can manipulate you and move you around, tiny man. Also, shout out to my SSRI gang.
48 hours ago here on TBS on Thunder. Now, you know, you talk about somebody turning in pro wrestling. I don't know that Eddie Guerrero has turned one way or the other. I think Eddie Guerrero
talking about turns on commentary.
Still an intense, just rugged individual. I think all he's done.
Cage matches Byrd is 5'3". I'm not. That might even be exaggerated.
Imagine Eddie Guerrero focusing that kind of intensity along with someone like
Eddie. This is after he rushed back from the New Year's Eve car accident.
Adrian Byrd with a drop kick drops Eddie Guerrero, and now Eddie. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, Eddie's wrestling the most basic match possible. He knows he can do nothing with this guy. He's got to do some bullshit to get through this thing. Exactly, Wallhall. Well, Adrian Byrd is really good at not being in position for anything. Again, I'm not a trained wrestler. I'm a horrible athlete, so I'm sure I would look just as bad as Adrian Byrd. Thing is, I didn't come from the power plant, nor am I wrestling on national television. Adrian Byrd had like a couple dozen matches on national TV.
Oh man, what a European uppercut from Eddie Guerrero. You know, as we get ready for this Monday night in Memphis at the legendary Mid-South Coliseum.
He like legit almost tripped him on that drop down.
We heard during the exclusive interview you conducted.
Oh, I guarantee if Scott Hudson did quit his job and go to the WWF beyond that like 1 week that he did, Vince would have fired him in a month. Because Scott loves those inside terms.
We'll see who that is Monday night.
Strap and talking about heel turns. There were shows he straight up mentioned Dave Meltzer on commentary. Spider was better than Adrian Byrd. Spider was just really an experience. Adrian Byrd had 2 left feet and a left brain. Oh, the awkward, I know what you're talking about, Cecil, that when you see someone think, where am I supposed to be? And then they do the spot and they're like, oh shit, supposed to be, yeah, I know, that's hilarious. Adrian Byrd and Eric, here's the thing, Eric Watts was the worker of that match. Brian brings up that Adrian Byrd defeated Eric Watts on the June 8th, 99 Worldwide. Shout out Wendy's. A shame you had to be associated with Adrian Byrd.
Where he connected with that patented frog splash. There you see another look at it, and another win for Eddie Guerrero since his return.
Eddie Guerrero non-stop with the victory on Saturday night. over Adrian Byrd, and it's going
Spider,
down
Byrd, and the dog
August
should have been in a
14th.
stable called the
It's
Zoo.
Road Wild, brought
Yes.
to you by American Iron Horse
Of course, it
WCW
probably would have happened.
Big Sexy Kevin Nash.
This is the same
Wants
company
his
that,
belt
just
back.
for fun,
He's
did the dog versus
one-on-one
the cat
with the champ.
on the Thunder
Hollywood
once.
Hogan, World Heavyweight Championship. Hogan and Nash and Road Wild.
Oh yeah, Adrian Byrd had Mongo Happy. Mongo Happy feet were fun.
Rey Mysterio Jr. represent my own jersey.
Adrian Byrd
Got the
just...
mask on one side, cross on the other, Mysterio on the back. Without a doubt, down with my No Limit Soldiers. No Limit Camp, seguimos siendo unos vatos locos.
Yeah, they'd already moved on from Ray and Conan being with the No Limit Soldiers by the time this commercial.
Rey Mysterio baseball jersey for $60. Just call 1-800-WCW-8661.
Body, you heard me?
And Masterpiece chilling
This portion of
WCW merch.
WCW Saturday Night, sponsored by
Good
Starburst Hard
on
Candy.
them.
Starburst Hard Candy. Give it some juice.
Where should you turn for the latest news, results, information?
Oh, Mike
scoops,
Tenay's
and
doing
rumors
Gene
about the
Shill
world of
for
professional
him.
wrestling? Well, there's only one place. It's the WCW hotline.
I really hope he got a cut of Gene's money for that Saturday.
Remind kids to get your parents' permission before calling, but we also remind you to call the
Yes,
hotline
Mr. Wrestling.
now.
That's Survivor Series
Oakham has an
2002.
exclusive report as
God
WCW
damn it, Jeff!
heads into the August tradition, and that's Road Wild live on pay-per-view August the 14th. Every day there's a different host on the WCW hotline.
Every day there's
You
a
can
different
check out
host.
my reports every Monday. We do a complete weekend review as well as
That would have been weird
the
if Mike
following
Tenay
week.
was like,
Check out the WCW
you should
hotline right
go
now.
follow Not That Tom Green on YouTube.
9900.
But if anybody could time travel in WCW, it would be Mike Tenay.
Today has anything about these two veterans that are going to
Seems like he
tie
could have
up
pulled it off.
here on Saturday night. You know this man no longer trying to become a member
There we
of
go.
the LPGA.
Barry Darsow with his porno armbar.
Barry Darsow.
And Barry Darsow has been stacking up quite a series of victories in World Championship Wrestling.
No, he won one match with Silver King.
Submission hold. One wonders if he's going to be able to put that barely legal on the.
I had a Ray mask when I was in like 5th or 6th grade, and I brought it into like show and tell. Doing some sort of like Mexican culture thing, and I brought in my Ray mask. And some kid with a big ass head put it on and flipped it.
Nothing beats seeing WCW live, Mike.
Certainly doesn't.
There we go. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the battle of the ultimate uncle wrestlers. And if you weren't here with us earlier, an uncle wrestler is my term for like when you're a kid and you're like the whole family's together for Christmas, and like your uncle gets down on the floor and just like throws you into the couch, power bombs you on the cushions. That's an uncle wrestler. These two are uncle wrestlers. This is a very Mid-South match. Crusher Khrushchev and Jim Duggan fight for the good US of A. Oh.
Incidentally, I'll be a little aside here. I'll be making a personal appearance at BB King's Club after Nitro Monday night on Bill Street. Just we'll throw that in.
Scott Hudson advertising where he's going to get drunk after Nitro.
Is that not on your list?
Nice cummerbund, an old David Penzer.
Okay, folks. You know, a couple of months ago, I came out on Nitro after my bout with cancer. I got down on my
Can't make
knees
fun
and
of
I
this.
thanked
He's
the
talking
Lord
about
for
his fucking
sparing my
cancer
life.
battle.
And that came from my heart. Then I thanked all you folks for all the prayers, and that came from my heart also. But
Barry
understand
Darsow
one
should have
thing.
been drunk gimmicks.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan
That
is not
could have been his
gonna
Born
change.
Again.
I'm going to thank you folks. I'm going to
Could have
praise
been
the Lord.
shit-faced and doing all the
then I'm
gimmicks.
going to do what Hacksaw always done best. Beat people up. Ho!
Nathan, holy shit. If he mentions it on TV, it becomes a tax write-off. It's cancer.
Hacksaw doesn't have the look for their prime time firework and dance show. That's fine with me, because this is where my
Yeah,
fans
Brian, see, I saw you up there, Brian. You said your uncles were newspaper editors and software engineers. Mine worked in factories and were brick masons, like my dad.
And razor cut hair.
They all had asbestos in their lungs,
Saturday
and
night belongs to me. And if you get in the ring,
Kyle drove me
Hacksaw
on the
Saturday
couch.
night,
You're going to get beat up.
Oh, got you, Nathan. I thought you meant Jim Duggan's cancer was the tax write-off. Okay, where Scott Upton gets drunk. That's better. Okay. I'm with you now. Not even a second into the match and there's a body slam.
Worked up here on a Saturday night. Running lariat, and Darsow, he knows. Don't go after a fired-up Hacksaw.
Don't you dare go after a fired-up Hacksaw.
Offensive assault here in the opening minute of this matchup. Barry Darsow rolls out to the floor, but look out from behind.
Oh, yes! Oh, big right meat hook and a left, mixing them up. Good night.
This is a sitcom wrestling
match. Power matchup that we expected between these two big, rugged individuals, and Duggan just left himself wide open.
Did he bring up the Goldberg match that made you cry, where Goldberg punched him in the kidneys where he had cancer? Goldberg has told the story. There were Make-A-Wish kids in the locker room that night who were there to meet Goldberg, who had terminal cancer. And we're like, oh, we love you, Goldberg. And then Goldberg had to come out and tell a cancer survivor, I'm gonna kill you, and then punch him in the kidneys and have him blood capsules everywhere. And he goes back to the locker room and the kids are bawling. That's insane. Hacksaw and Darsow during this match would be the same age as a Kenny Omega versus Samoa Joe match today. It's
that loves professional wrestling.
Miracles of modern science.
Like WCW Saturday Night.
Absolutely, and I love to watch the Hacksaw right now.
Yeah, and the thing about the Hulkster in Heaven story is at least that's bullshit.
No impact, but Darsow quickly shoots him across hard.
This is a real thing that happened with Goldberg. OG Lucha, first time chat. Welcome to the Erotic Eric Fontaine fan club. Ho, USA, USA. Also, shout out to Sergeant Slaughter for finally admitting publicly he didn't serve in Vietnam and apologizing for stolen valor.
Darsow looked like he was going to take a Gordon right off the ropes, but he ran right into that full slam. Uh-oh. Here's the high sign. Darsow, stay down. Stay down.
Yeah, he might get you with, he's going to bend your arm. Nope.
Duggan into the ropes.
No porno armbar.
Glory. The cover. 2 and 3. Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Well, he has dedicated himself to WCW Saturday Night, and I just have one
yeah, that stuff, that Memphis stuff, but it wasn't just one manager. Like, a lot of Lawler enemies for years. Shout out Aurora Sky 46. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you bringing the crackers and soda. But like, it's a half dozen Lawler
everyone to WCW Saturday
in the
Night
90s.
Right
we're like,
the
yeah, that pile driver gave Andy Kaufman cancer.
Stephen Regal, David Taylor, and the man who was
hey, Shellcracker, yes, kayfabe is better than stolen valor.
Invitational tournament, Fit Finley. However, Mr. Finley, you no longer have possession of that.
I don't know. There's something about 3 men standing there in like their little high-cut singlets next to a fully clothed man.
For the first family.
This
past Monday on Nitro, you were involved in a match with Jerry Flynn.
Having a conversation.
And you did not have backup. You were attacked by all the first family members in the parking lot.
Mary Catherine Gallagher.
Taylor, where were you Monday night?
Fit Finley, sometimes he just likes to put his hands in here.
But we didn't receive
like
tickets to appear on Nitro. In fact, there was a message on my answer machine. Do not come to Nitro, you are not needed. Now,
the thing is, that was probably legit.
Maybe Jimmy Hart, Dave Taylor.
I'm sure it's Jimmy Hart. It's just
it probably was Jimmy Hart for real, because Jimmy Hart booked
August the 14th, it's Road Wild. You have an opportunity, Dave Finley, to regain that hardcore trophy against one member of the first family. Jimmy Hart's not saying who it is.
Yeah, they brought back Regal.
Tell you something. Jimmy Hart
yes, they did, Speedy.
Everything.
I'm glad to see you in the chat, Aurora Sky 46. I too missed the time when WCW had 6 shows on television, and they had a big enough roster that every show had different wrestlers.
And we are going to take the first family apart. One by one, we're going to destroy them.
They are united, Regal, Finley, and Taylor.
Promotional
was he cold?
By the following.
Yeah, they brought back Regal after the WWF run for him. I think the story was Regal called Bischoff and then he's like, hey, if I don't have a job, I'm going to get deported. And Bischoff... One of those stories where like Bischoff has a heart. He's like, yeah, you know what, I'll give you.
Vacation, movies, and more.
George Santos is currently trending on Twitter with NXT. I would not be surprised
On a trip to my
if George
sister's,
Santos
I
ended
said,
up in
why
NXT.
waste money when we can stay at Motel 6, didn't I, hon? Now see what happens when you listen.
This was post-Man's Man Regal, yes.
Your athlete's foot is tough, but Tenactin products are tougher. Nothing stops the itching, burning, and cracking of athlete's foot like boom!
EC'd up.
Tenactin.
EC'd up.
Hey, you quit smoking.
He didn't quit. He uses Targon mouthwash. Look
Boom
how
or
Targon
doom.
removes tobacco tar.
I
If you
give
smoke, use
Tough
Targon.
Actin' Tenactin a boom.
Who would control WCW? Sting.
I'm with you, Aurora Sky. Real sicko hours. Is, yeah, getting up early to watch WCW Pro or main event a Saturday morning. God, Robert Stone and George Santos cutting a back and forth promo.
Ric Flair saw him lose the
Now you put an
referee's
idea
punch
in my
with
head,
Mickey
Brian.
J, and Sting felt victory in his grasp on Nitro.
And Sting was in control of this matchup until Arn Anderson took out the referee.
Yeah, so the Goldberg match got Regal. He was on the way out anyway, but that pretty much got him out of WCW. Regal had a run in WWE for like 4 or 5 months. He did the one-off match in June where he wasn't the Man's Man. Then he did the Man's Man vignettes. Came in as the Man's Man. He's around through, I think, beginning of December, because he was in the Deadly Game tournament, Survivor Series. Him and X-Pac did a 15-minute draw.
We're on our way to Sturgis.
Come on, man, let's go.
And there's a really good Regal versus Dick Togo match from Shotgun Saturday Night. I've never seen The Crow, but I'm not surprised it's nothing like. I'm sure Brandon Lee wasn't going around hitting people with a baseball bat
For a limited
like
time,
this.
save 25% off Meinike's lifetime mufflers, backed by a nationwide warranty.
At Meineke, you won't pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
Only 7 days after
That would have been
winning the
fun if
World
Brandon
Heavyweight
Lee did a fight
Championship,
scene with a
Hollywood
plastic
Hogan
mask
put the World Heavyweight title on the
and
line on
then
Nitro
took it off.
against Sid Vicious.
And there's no
Road
question
Wild
that Hollywood
98
Hogan is
is-
going to be a fighting champion.
I have a soft spot
Yes,
for
he
it.
has Big Kevin Nash upcoming
Because it was a
on
rare
August the
pay-per-view I
14th
actually
at
got to
Road
order.
Wild. But Hogan
birthday
agreed
present,
last
my mom
Monday to
will
put the
order.
most prestigious title in our
Horrible
sport
show.
on the
I
line against
remember
Psychotic Sid.
But
my
Kevin
brother-in-law
Nash could not wait until Sturgis. He hit
went
the ring
half-seas
in
on my
Rockford
mom,
Nitro.
And
my
Kevin
mom
Nash
to order the
wasn't the only
pay-per-view
one,
for me.
because after Nash attacked Hogan,
And
Sting made his entrance as well.
He didn't
But
tell
he
me
could not leave
that the
well
reason that he
enough
did it
alone.
is because
Could
he wanted me to
Rick
record the
Steiner
Travis
defeat
Tritt
him,
concert out.
And then the
So
Phenom
me,
made his return.
Oh, yeah.
being someone of
Goldberg
fine
is
taste,
back.
I
Goldberg
stopped the
cleared
tape
house. Bodies
for the
flying
Travis Tritt
everywhere.
concert.
It was
I give him the
return of
tape,
Goldberg, and when you looked
and I
up
get
the
a
aisle,
phone call the
you
next
saw
day. Why the
Kevin
fuck
Nash,
didn't you
Sid
tape that
Vicious,
Travis
and Rick
Tritt
Steiner
concert?
in
That's
between.
why I gave your
What
mom
an
the money.
unholy alliance, but look at that trio. Sting, Hogan, and Goldberg as one in the ring, standing tall on Nitro.
And what a great feeling that
Here we
has
go.
to be for
My
everyone
Sharona.
associated with the
Somebody
World
from Jimmy Hart's
Championship
group.
Wrestling Organization. Scott, you know it as well as I.
To answer you, Hank, WCW did not get paid for Road Wild. That was all expense. Jimmy Hart holding that high school arts and crafts project.
A voice of reason. Yes, Sting is in control. No more Ric Flair.
Yeah, my sister divorced that guy.
Look at your format. Do you see anything about Brian Knobbs coming out here, or Jimmy Hart, or that trophy, or any of this? That's Fit Finley's trophy, for Pete's sake.
Yeah, it was Bischoff and Rick Steiner and some of those dudes getting to get WCW to pay for their vacation.
First of all, at the bash,
Yeah, Brian Knobbs pretty much looks like this, thinner, because he had to lose weight. Only, apparently now he's doing shoot interviews where he's singing the N-word. I don't know if you guys have seen that clip that's been going around, where he's singing a song, N-word, 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 about New Jack. Yes, Cecil, this is the longest Brian Knobbs has ever talked without saying a slur. Yeah, no, it's, yeah, there was a clip going around the other day on Twitter. Brian Knobbs got mad at New Jack and started singing the N-word. Hey, Black Blur 14, welcome. Yes, seems legit. Yes. I don't know. It looked pretty recent to me. It's sometime in the last few years. And that's right, Cecil. Yeah, because they spliced it right afterwards. He says, "Oh, I think it was Hannibal that interviewed him. What does Terry think about this?" And he's like, "He says it more than I do."
The reason that the first family has that trophy is because that man, Jimmy Hart,
Jimmy Hart. You know what, Cecil? If that Shindy wrestler with the saw blade belt had as much caution as Jimmy Hart did, he wouldn't have bled.
The first family left him laying, and Hart still had the trophy.
And as we heard earlier tonight here on WCW Saturday Night, Steven Regal and Dave Taylor, they weren't even booked for this past Monday's Nitro. And
yeah, Dave Finley in World of Sport's awesome.
Well, they certainly believe it in Fit Finley.
Yeah, Dave Finley was always awesome.
Here on Saturday night, but Brian Knobbs back in control. Shoots Finley across.
So LaBamba, I heard the story recently about what happened with that tryout. LaBamba Dubaka brings up that the Nasty Boys randomly got a tryout in like 2004, 2005 at a SmackDown against Dave Taylor and Drew McIntyre. The story was that Brian Knobbs called one of the agents. "Hey, you guys are in Tampa. You know, we're in real good shape. Could you get us on?" And then Vince was like, "Whatever, his favor. You know, it was a favor. I'll get him on." And then they show up to the building. Call time was like 1 o'clock or whatever. These dudes show up for a tryout at like 6:30 for a 7:30 bell time. They're drunk as shit. And then they demolish Drew McIntyre. Oh, fuck! That's a good table for bumping. Very good table. Good bumping table. And then, like, they spend half the match. They have friends in the front row from, like, the radio stations or whatever. And, they're just, like, talking to him during the match. Which is a big WWE no-no. You don't, if you're at a TV taping, you're not interacting with the people in the crowd. They're just stopping the match to talk to their friends.
Paying their own way here on Saturday night. Not booked for the show, just here watching the back of their compatriot, Fit Finley.
Well, one thing
yeah, Bubba and his crew in the front row, yeah.
That man, Fit Finley, has a chance to once again regain control of that hardcore trophy. Jimmy Hart says,
what a feud. Jimmy Hart and his gang of weirdos against all the Europeans. Jimmy Hart's sovereign nation of weirdos against the continent of Europe. Yes, Cecil, this is the first family. Knobbs and Hugh Morris were tag champs a couple months after this. They, I think they got the tag belts at Fall Brawl that year for Harlem Heat. Barbarian was with them just because Barbarian was always with Jimmy Hart. All right, LJH, talk to you soon. Glad to see you here tonight.
Dude, the restrooms are around the corner.
No, dude, I've got to do my road
Dude,
report.
Bubba the Love Sponge did dark matches for freaking everybody.
That you use 1-800.
And he is putting video of all of them on his YouTube channel now.
Dude.
I watched the one he did for ECW on his YouTube channel recently. That's how you can tell I have too much time on my hands. Is when I see, oh, Bubba the Love Sponge ECW dark match, click. Yeah, it is wild that they let him do that commercial with a Grateful Dead hat on.
This is the beginning of a great relationship.
With 1-800 call ATT?
Dude.
Why is he doing that thing with his fingertips? Does he have really messy palms?
The HBO series of the same name at the commentator's position. Tomorrow night on HBO, 9:30 p.m., Arliss will feature the stars of World Championship Wrestling. And I mean, they
if you've never seen that episode of Arliss, it's alright.
Tony Schiavone, and of course, our own star.
But it has the moment I tweeted it when I did the Arliss YouTube short, where Arliss or Randy Savage is training the hockey player that they bring into WCW. Randy Savage has him up at a tombstone, and in the Randy Savage voice goes, "Hockey is for pussies."
Rodman is in professional wrestling right now, and Arliss wants to be a part.
In its fourth season, it's won 2
I
Emmy Awards.
ugly laughed
It's tomorrow
so
night on
hard.
HBO, 9:30. Let's take a look at Arliss.
Always land feet first.
Well, they play it here.
Okay.
Yeah, this scene.
What do you think?
Good pedigree. Strong, quick, not afraid of contact.
This guy got thrown out of hockey for being too violent. I didn't bring in Randy Macho Man Savage to tell me that. I need you to show him the moves.
Hey, enforcer, let me show you the proper way to do a headlock. And when you do this, you really spice it up.
Also a big fan of Lex Luger getting that NWO shirt in.
A David sunflower seed.
I don't think he was even with the NWO
They go in
when they filmed that
Hello,
episode.
Would you
Just
taste
wanted to
70
share.
years of roasting perfection?
New CompuServe 2000.
Now just $9.95.
CompuServe
Fast
2000.
Just $9.95.
Easier email.
Just $9.95.
CompuServe 2000. The
$9.95
internet
a month.
access.
Call today.
Drive into a Travelodge location for free in-room coffee, free lobby newspaper, and a great room at a great rate. Call 1-800-578-7878 now for Travelodge.
New Viractin, a penetrating breakthrough cold sores. Viractin penetrates to the core of the sore to work like no other medicine. New penetrating Viractin.
You go to the Travelodge and then you have sores that you have to use Viractin. Oh, Judge Wapner.
Call for your qualifying analysis and receive this information kit.
This is what Judge Wapner was doing in the late 90s.
1-800-761-8244 now to get cash for your lottery
Singer
winnings or
Asset
structured
Finance.
settlements. Don't sign with anyone until you compare our offer. Call 1-800-761-8244.
He lost his World Heavyweight Championship, and Randy Savage.
Yeah, Randy Savage was wrestling Kidman when they did the Arliss angle.
And Savage and Kidman tied up in Rockford.
And during the Savage and Kidman battle, Arliss made it clear he was in Rockford, Illinois.
So yeah,
for one
Rodman
reason,
was supposed to come out and like
Dennis Rodman.
cut a promo and do spots, and then he showed up and he was fucked up out of his
Rodman
mind.
hit the ring, purse in hand,
And so,
knocked out Randy
yeah, they just
Savage
did
with
the
an
one
attack from
thing,
behind.
and then everyone just
Recruiting
stood
began
there.
in earnest. Arliss telling Rodman there was money to be made, and
Now,
Savage
look at
said
Doug
he wanted
Dillinger's
his piece.
stooge
The
friend.
WCW announcers even hit the ring with
The WCW
microphones in
security
hand
was
to
just
get the
Doug
exclusive
Dillinger's
story.
buddies from the
Until
Charlotte
Miss Madness
Police.
and Medusa began their brawl. These beauties brawled all over Nitro.
What a catfight it was between Medusa and Miss Madness, while Rodman decided that he was going to blow off Arliss.
We didn't hear from the Worm much, but his appearance said volumes on Nitro.
Dennis Rodman just stood in the background while all this shit is going on. Going, Lil Dick, Lil Dick.
Down this past Thursday on Thunder, when
The
Randy
juice is
Savage
loose,
decided that he
baby.
was going to, well, trim the ranks of Team Savage.
Yes,
by
Donuts
two,
Dillinger.
as he fired
That was
both
about
Medusa
how much he
and
was worth.
Miss Madness 99.
What a disgrace Randy Savage is. What he
Hoovy had a way of making the
beautiful
Michinoku
Miss
driver
Madness
look
last
real low.
Thursday on Thunder defies description. Made her get on her knees and beg for her job. She did it, and he still fired her.
God, I was there at All Out when Rodman wouldn't get the fuck out of the ring. And they had to like work around him.
Competition for Miss Madness. What do you bet?
It was
Gorgeous
so
George
awkward.
got the inside track on that time. Please.
Against Kidman. Here we go. Two Billy Kidman.
Kidman off of the match last Monday against Randy
Brian
Savage.
Knobs and Fit Finley would be the same as a Joey Janela versus Damian Priest match today.
TBS
Wow.
original production makes its premiere. It's called First Daughter. It stars Mariel Hemingway and our very own Diamond
Mariel
Dallas
Hemingway and
Page
DDP
Below.
started a
First
movie
Daughter.
together.
These bodyguards.
You don't know who I am?
A Superstation original.
I'm pretty sure
movie.
that's the truth. Bobby was right. Like, Dillinger had a fuck-off job in the Charlotte Police.
Just got her worst assignment.
What's an outbound group doing with guns?
But someone's about to take her off the job permanently.
Since I'm such a gentleman.
Hey, here's this movie where DDP murders people. DDP shoots Mariel Hemingway.
The war against terrorism just got personal.
You know, DDP the terrorist is bang, literally.
I
think it's time to get your daughter back.
And big fan of how like PBS was producing original movies where people were getting shot in the brain, but WCW couldn't say hell. Hoovy and Kidman would be the same as Hook versus Buddy Matthews. I'm surprised. I thought Buddy Matthews is older than him. He has an older
Main event time here on WCW Saturday Night. Juventud, Guerrero, and Kidman.
Shout out to Caden and Angie.
In the world, and Scott, no question, the winner of this matchup is going to take a huge step.
Buddy is 35.
Rey Mysterio Jr., the reigning world's cruiserweight title holder.
Both of these men, former cruiserweight champions, and arguably
DDP's character name in that movie, according to Black Blur, Dirk Lindman.
No question about that.
And somehow that wasn't a porno.
Has its focus on Memphis, Tennessee. We heard Kevin Nash Thursday on Thunder issue a challenge to Hollywood Hogan.
You know it's bad when Hoovy and Kidman are doing the Memphis Yabu falling.
Mid-South Coliseum box office and all Ticketmaster outlets. In the month of August, Nitro is coming to Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Nobody's wanting to do anything at the state right now.
That's on August the 2nd. And on Monday, August.
But hey, at least these cruiserweights got a small ref. Randy Anderson.
Tickets on sale now for Sioux Falls at the Arena box office and Ticketmaster outlets. In Boise, you can pick up your tickets at the Idaho Center box office and all select-a-seat outlets. And we spoke earlier about Thunder.
Select-a-seat, baby.
Thunder is coming to La Crosse, Wisconsin on Thursday, August the 5th, and tickets are on sale at the La Crosse Center box office and all the usual outlets.
Attention fans in Memphis, there are still seats available at the Mid-South Coliseum. Don't worry about going over to Mud Island or anything like that. Perfect night. Go down to the Rendezvous, grab some barbecue, head over to the Mid-South Coliseum.
Scott Hudson,
WCW
this is where I'm getting drunk. This is where I'm eating lunch.
On Bill Street afterwards. That's going to go down this Monday when Kevin Nash, he has promised a
Scott Hudson is like the sad middle-aged man version of Ric Flair. Not the depressing middle-aged man of Ric Flair. That was Ric Flair.
And we know that Hollywood Hogan has already proven to be a fighting world heavyweight champion. One would suspect that Hogan is going to answer the challenge.
Yes, I believe
think about who Hogan might
current WCW or current WWE producer Billy Kidman is actually William Manley.
All we've heard is that it's someone
yes, I'm sure that's what they put on his sheets when he like times out the shows.
All those guys over there, Bob Ryder, Jeremy Borash, they're speculating all over the web on who Kevin Nash is going to bring to the dance Monday night in Memphis. Who is Hogan going to have as his part?
Well, you talked about the internet. I can tell you that the WCW hotline has been speculating all week about
this match has gone on for 3 minutes of DV.
To join him, and I'm just thinking back to this past Monday's Nitro and that picture that we'll never forget.
Jeremy Borash. We talked about him for Sunday on Off the Grid. I love Jeremy Borash.
I tell you what, Scott, I don't know who it's going to be. We're all going to find out at the same time Monday on Nitro in Memphis.
R.I.P. Bob Ryder.
Has an open challenge from Kurt Hennig. We saw that 48 hours ago on Thunder. Goldberg has his plate full, I'm guessing, for Monday night. Missile drop kick from Hogan.
Love how Kidman went from like, I'm doing nothing to flying out of the ring off that drop kick. I agree with you, LeBron. Yeah, TNA without Jeremy Borash is not TNA. Like, there were years where TNA was the Jeremy Borash show. He produced the segments, he edited the shows, he ring announced.
Both men out on the floor trying to regroup.
Like that, after the first couple of months when they had to really downsize, all the video packages were cut by Jeremy Borash, learning how to edit. Like, that's why they all look like they were Windows Movie Maker files. And then, like, Borash edited British Boot Camp on his laptop, like, traveling back and forth between America and England.
As the new head man of WCW.
Can you imagine what they might
Shout out Ringside Rundown. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate the cookie or the crackers and half drinking soda. I would imagine One of those tapings I was at, his laptop went missing. It was a DEFCON 2 situation. That dude probably had the entire TNA video library on that laptop. I've heard stories of him, like him putting together shows on his laptop, like between the life. Thank you so much, Ringside Rundown. The stream is going great. Appreciate you popping in. Glad to have you in the chat. I don't know if Hoovy would have been like Ray successful. I think Ray set the bar so high that like you couldn't obtain it. But if Hoovy had his head on straight, he would have had a decent little run because he was funny.
But watch Juventud from up top. No! I told you. Kidman got both feet up. And Juventud
Hoovy really was on the flying nothing boots to the face.
No, reversal.
I think Hoovy was going for the flying nothing, I believe.
Shoulder block from Juventud Guerrero. Oh, no!
Nicely done. The momentum switches as Juventud hits the shoulder block from the ring apron. But the question is, can he follow it up? Can he put a series of moves together here on Kidman and put
There was
it
a
away?
pay-per-view that they did the Mexicals against the BWO. Noli has met Juventud Guerrero, Jonathan, yes. I think I might have told the story on here before. It was a weird little like lucha show down the road from my house I took him to. And Hoovy was on the show, and after the show, I took him to go meet Hoovy. And we walked by Hoovy's table. Hoovy puts him on his lap. And Noli was like 4 or 5 at the time. Noli is my son, for those of you who don't know. Puts my little 4 or 5-year-old son on his lap and goes, "Little boy, are you juicy?" To which Noli says, "Yes." And then he poses Noli, and he puts his hand out, $20, please.
He pulled that move out of his hat. He came out of nowhere with that Hoovy driver, but Hoovy's not able to cover him.
Yes, it was an experience. Hoovy had stormed out of the ring after the match because the promoter had like on the fly put himself into the match in Tigre Uno. And after the match was like trying to shoot his own angle to get a singles match with Hoovy that he hadn't booked Hoovy to come back for. And Hoovy just walked out of the ring and went to his table. Oh shit, he almost crushed his face. And Billy Kidman wins. Whereas we've discussed the Cecil William Man-Man.
Up to the top, hits the shooting star press, and he moves up to the top contender status for the cruiserweight title.
And we're going to Memphis. Hennig and Goldberg, Nash and Hogan with their
I think there was Vampiro Hoovy drama over the Hoovy driver when Vampiro first came in. Alright, so that is it for tonight. A marathon session of WCW Deep Cuts Live. Another about 2-hour, 15-minute version. But folks, thank you all so much. Major numbers through the roof. Wow. I think this is the most viewed live stream ever. Thank you all so much for joining me for the last 2 hours and 15 minutes of your Tuesday nights. And again, I played the trailer a little bit ago. We are back on Twitch this Sunday night at 8 p.m. Not for Off the Grid, but we're going to celebrate hitting 1,000 followers on Twitch. We're going to watch Ready to Rumble. Again, if you're watching it on YouTube, go follow me on Twitch, because there's no way that this is going to make the YouTube VOD. No way we're going to be able to put this stream on YouTube after the fact. So join me on Twitch Sunday night, 8 p.m. for Ready to Rumble. But as I always like to close these shows out with, even if you don't make it here next Tuesday, let's just try to make it to next Tuesday. It's just 7 days. That's all I'm asking for. I know life's hard. I had an extremely rough weekend myself, but stuff like this got me through. I'm glad to share this time with you all. I love the friendships and the fellowships that have bonded through the chat, streams. They're all great. Let's make it the next Tuesday. Thank you all so much. My name's Tom. Again, my My handle's down there. This has been WCW Deep Cuts Live. It's late. Let's go to bed.